その者、東の凸国より海を渡りて現れり。若者、秘めし力未だ知らず。かの身を滅ぼすことも、かの願い叶えしことも。その者、勇み立つ時我を求める。共に荒れ野の道を行かん。待ちて願え。開口は我の古よりの定めなり。地より現れし竜が黒雲をいざない天を覆うの。舞い降りし鳳凰、その翼によりて自分を生むがごとく。漆黒の世は広がりしも、明星は一つ燦爛と輝く。
Honestly, I don't think your kung fu is strong enough.
Grandmaster, A
long time ago, martial arts were bad, but humans are interesting creatures. They practiced in secret, away from prying eyes, and became stronger. One even practiced atop this very boat. Nam Tren survived the ban and was passed on in this way.
What did you say to me? Stop it.
They threaten and extort money from shop owners, get drunk by noon, and cause trouble. Everyone in town is afraid of them.
They are heartless. Hey, wait right there! Okay.
This is him! The Japanese guy who got in our way!
You've got some guts to barge in here on your own.
Sir, the food is great and budget-friendly.
You've got to try it. Here. This is a monk fruit. A Guilin specialty. Hey, mister. Let's go to the arcade.
Maybe I should play one.
You idiot. You can still win even if you don't have enough kung fu.
Really?
Hey, is there anywhere you can learn kung fu?
The place where they have all the street fights. I guess you'd call it an arena. I've heard martial artists go there to test their limits.
Don't make me laugh.
I'll be the one to come out on top. You look like you're from Japan. And your appearance suggests that you're a martial artist.
And you do martial arts?
I do.
Leo.
This is nothing. I'll be fine.
How did you get this?
My father left it for me. It's what brought me to this village.
Tell me about where you were born.
You want to know about Yokosuka?
Yes. I want to see what Japan is like. Leo, it's morning.
You got the wrong guy.
Lies! Please let me know.
I'd rather not get you involved.
Still, you did good, man.
I don't want to hear it.
Honestly, I don't think your kung fu is strong enough.
The Shenmue tree's blossoms are beautiful.
Indeed. They're in full bloom, though, so the petals will start dropping soon.
That's a shame. I just want to know why these mirrors were worth killing my father over.
But people are looking for it anyway, continuing the cycle of pain.
Here we go.
Lefty.
Fight me! I will avenge my father!
That's Bailu Village. Leo, I want to hear more about you.
Good evening, everybody. I hope those trailers sort of got you in the mood for what's to come. We are here to celebrate the second anniversary of the impossible dream happening. Shenmue 3 finally hitting the shelves. Long-ass journey, 15 years plus in the making. It's still unreal that we even have this in our shelves, in our hands, in our consoles right now. However, first and foremost, I must introduce my partner in crime, Mr. James Brown. How's it going?
All good, thanks, man.
Good.
Nice to see the evolution of the trailers there, going from, the Dead Eye stuff that we berated all the way up to the actual product that we got at the end.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool to see that evolution.
We've been on a hell of a journey, I think, is the way to say it. I mean, the trailers are just a snippet of the journey that the community's been on. And some of you may have seen the posts that we put out probably around sort of mid-morning, late morning. This Shenmue 3 was the impossible. We were told it would never happen, that we were being laughed at, we were a joke. And it happened. We took it all and turned it on its head. And if we can do it, other communities could do it, and we can do it again, quite frankly. But we're here to celebrate the fact this game exists. We're here to celebrate everything about Shenmue tonight. And part of that is I have a nice steelbook to give away at the end of the stream.
Lovely.
So I'm taking your names into the random wheel generator as I normally do, and I'll do that at the end of the stream. But we have some Shenmue news. It's very odd Shenmue news.
Kind of do.
We have some Shenmue news.
Okay.
So before I say hello to chat, James, do you want to take us away on that?
Yeah, okay. So yesterday, just randomly, almost like an April Fool's Day joke, we got a Shenmue perfume was released on the official Sega Shop UK. So if you've always wanted to douse your neck with the scent of tobacco and hang on, I'll read what's supposed to be in this fragrance. Okay, so there's supposed to be cardamom, bergamot, and forgive me if I'm not pronouncing any of these. I don't really come across these words in everyday life. Golden tobacco, well, apart from that one, of course. Orris, sage, which is that not OxoCube stuff?
Yeah, it's like sage and onion stuffing.
Okay, lovely. And patchouli, if I pronounce that right. So, I don't know, what's that smell like? What is that? But yeah, so that is the Shenmue fragrance. Anyway, I'm not sure if it really evokes like scream Shenmue at me.
Find out when we get it.
I'm excited to see what it smells. Well, to smell what it smells like. So it'll be interesting to. I bought 2 anyway, so I'm gonna use one. Try and empty the bottle on myself, and save the other bottle, like we all do with our Shenmue merch. But yeah, I'm happy to see it. It's just unusual, isn't it? I mean, you did a tweet earlier saying about Shenmue replica mirrors. Seems to be the most obvious thing. But yeah, we got a perfume instead. Unisex perfume.
Hey, I'm not going to discriminate. I'm not going to take it's Shenmue merchandise at the end of the day. I must say it's a bit of a left field merchandise, but you know, sod it. I've got a couple on the way myself. I will unbox one of them. If someone invents smell-o-vision at the point, that'd be
okay. So Spag says patchouli apparently smells sweet, sticky, and spicy. Okay. So I'm not sure how it can smell of all those 3 unique things. Sticky. What's sticky smell like?
I don't know. I
suppose it depends what the sticky stuff is.
No bloody idea, quite frankly. No bloody idea.
It's nice to see, and you know, if you, I suppose, not for us to buy other people, but if there's someone out there that knows you like Shenmue and might buy you, you know, a bottle of cologne or something for Christmas, usually, at least they could get you a Shenmue branded one now.
Yeah, exactly. It's an odd one.
So let me link that in the chat. Sorry, I'm pretty sure you've seen it, guys, but there you go. Yeah. And it's a pre-order expected to release in December, which, to be fair, we're only about 2 weeks away, aren't we? So
yeah, so
and I think they actually do say you'll definitely get it in time for Christmas.
Yeah, they did actually. I think there was someone asked that question, in fact. And they did say, yeah, it would be in time for Christmas. It's so random, though. It's so random.
It's so random.
I'm not going to knock
obviously,
it.
They've done a line. They've done a Sonic one, a Yakuza one, and a Shenmue one. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
Good.
Might be a nightmare to ship abroad, though.
Yeah, we're discovering that, aren't we, at the moment? Because we've got friends in America who want some, but obviously because it's perfume, technically. It could be considered dangerous. So that could be...
It doesn't actually say if it has alcohol in. I think the major thing's alcohol in it, but it doesn't actually say that. So it might be okay.
I mean, if it doesn't, it'd make life a lot easier. So I'm getting people's names in the drawer as we go as well. Right.
What's going on? So Ginger Fairy says, I ended up buying 5 bottles. 4 to ship off to the States. So are you not worried at all, Ginger, about like you're not supposed to send liquids abroad?
It's weird. I don't get it. Right, let's go through the chat a little bit and just see who's around tonight. I've seen Renners. Good evening. How's it going? Only One Nights on YouTube. How's it going? PD over on YouTube. Good to see you. Retro Godfather. Good to see you. Strictly Sega Europe again. Good to see you back. Over on Twitch, we've got obviously Spags. Good to see you as always. Ginger's in. God's in. Jamoko, a new person. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Johnny Darko, another one. Welcome. Catspiss06, good to see you. Lightspeed, welcome. Love video games. Brilliant. Good to see you as always. Rapping Root, again, thanks for dropping by. Six Flags, hello and welcome. Sliver and Titch, again, we appreciate you guys dropping into our streams because I know it's a Friday night. So people could be out partying and raving it up, but you've come instead to watch us mess around, play some Shenmue, and just have a good time, quite frankly. Because that's what it's all about.
It's the 2-year anniversary Shenmue 3, and it's worth celebrating.
It is indeed. So what I'm going to be doing is, we're in Bailu Village at the moment. I'm just about to find Mr. Sue. So we're going to sort of run through a bit of Bailu, chill out, play some mini games, do some story, have a laugh. I don't know about James, but I have the party animal here with me, so we know it's going to be. It's most Mr. Vodka, so it could be a long one. We'll see how we go.
Yes, I've got Japanese whiskey. Don't know if anyone's heard of this brand. I normally like to have Suntory. It's a different one I've found. Yasuku.
On a slight side note, guys, tonight we're quite lucky that Twitch has given us the option of stream quality for everybody who's watching. So I'm running it at 1080-60. But if your internet doesn't hold it very well, you should have the option, if you press the cog on Twitch, to drop it down to 720 or whatever your heart desires. If you don't, let me know. And if it's a continued problem, I will drop off for a minute, drop the stream quality and come back. But I think we should be okay.
Are you normally 60 frames, by the way? Because you do look a little bit smoother at turning your head.
I'm not. Well, I am 720-60, so maybe it's slightly clearer in how I'm moving my head.
Yeah, the fidelity in your motion.
Fidelity in my head movement is improved.
Yeah. The graphics, mate, of your face.
Oh, dear.
Oh, you on the Suntory? Are you P. Doherty? I think I know what you mean. You're referencing Lost in Translation.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's Suntory time. Whatever he says.
Right.
The Shenmue 3 display going on here, guys. Just
look at all that gear that James has accumulated.
I was going to show. When we went to Monaco, Magic Monaco, they were doing... what year was this again? 2019?
19, yeah.
Of the year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so... God, that's coming up to 3 years ago now. But at this Magic Monaco, they had like a photo booth thing, and this was the theme, like Landee, and you'd literally just walk up and get these photos taken with your friends or by yourself, and they'd print off... I think there were maximum of 3 copies per person.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Just for free. Yeah, so there's me there. Hang on. I'm zooming in here. There you go.
Yeah, I see you.
Is that zoomed in, yeah?
Yeah, it's
Sorry,
good.
I'm a little bit delayed here. So there's me and Matt, standing tall and proud. And we've got the Scribe's head just popping up here. And Flagship. Hang on, where am I pointing? Yep, Flagship's there. Who at the time was working for the dojo on social media and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, I'd love to get Flag back at some point. But he's a little strange. He might be watching the stream, so I apologise for calling him strange, man. But he's strange in the sense that he still hasn't played through Shenmue 3. So obviously he was waiting for Shenmue 3 as long as we were and excited for it. But he's got this sort of strange mentality that he has to be in the right mindset, the right environment, and have the right, the best quality. So whatever game he plays is in the best light it can be. So he's waited for a PS4 to be released. Although I don't think he's picked up a PS5. He hasn't picked up a PS5 yet.
No, not yet.
But I think he was also debating getting like a big gaming computer as well.
He's just bought himself a kick-ass laptop, actually.
Yeah, so he's got no excuses anymore. And the sooner he plays it, the better, because then we can get him back. I think he's gone dark for 2 years, He doesn't know any of the spoilers or anything.
No, he does. I don't know how the hell he's done it. I really don't, because it's not like it's not been all over the internet, but there you go. It's impressive. Actually, strictly Sega Europe, you've got a point. 6 years since you cried in a taxi watching the E3, how times fly.
Dude.
Everybody's memories in chat. Where were you when Shenmue 3 got announced?
Where were you heading? Where were you heading in the taxi? Strictly Sega Europe. Was it a long trip? Was it like enough time to see everything at E3? What did the cab driver say? Seeing you crying in the back like.
God, 6 years. How fucking quick.
Oh, okay, he was. Sorry, P. Doherty was referencing Lost in Translation.
Okay.
Okay, cool. What's Ginger Fairy on about? Oh, he's well known in the Shenmue world. Told me not to worry about it and that we are overthinking it. Yeah, possibly. I just know every time I go into the post office, the guy says, "Is there any liquids?" And they just don't accept any package that's got liquids in at all. At least in my local post office.
They don't in mine either. They're really funny about it. We got some comments coming in now about the announcement. Johnny Dark. It was a very emotional announcement. Heck, it was. Only one night I was at the gym and I got a flood of texts from about 6 different people tuning into E3 footage right now. Bloody hell.
That's crazy.
I remember I watched it live, and obviously, and disbelief is one word. And then I went to bed after. Well, I say I went to bed. I backed the Kickstarter as soon as I could, and then I woke up the next morning, and I must have had about 50 messages on my phone from friends and people going, "Have you seen E3? Have you seen E3?" I was like, "Of course, I've fucking seen E3." Man, oh man.
It's crazy, isn't it? It doesn't feel real that it happened.
No.
Really. And I think back, because I was doing an all-nighter kind of thing, because I think it was like 2 or 3 in the morning, wasn't it? So...
It was, indeed.
I had work the next day, I think, unless it was a weekend, but I think it was...
It was a weekday, I think.
Midweek. And I think I slept a little bit, just in my room on the floor, and set an alarm for like 1:45 or something. And obviously Shenmue was even later in the show as well. It was probably like an hour in, maybe, was it?
Something like that. It was quite a way. It's probably about halfway in, I think, possibly. I can't remember, you know. Someone.
So you're talking like 3 a.m. and then that happens, and I wanted to just scream the whole place down.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't, but
No, I didn't either.
I had to keep my mouth shut a little bit, but man, it was weird. Wow, yeah, it was surreal. I mean,
I think that was the first E3 I watched live. I don't know if it was the first E3 they broadcast live, but it was, like you say, it was just something was in the air that year, wasn't there? It was like you could feel something was happening.
I mean,
and then you got to a point where it felt like, oh, maybe nothing is happening. Like I say, because it was quite a way into the show. It just took us all by surprise, which was, I think, for the best, really. It was it made it even more memorable.
It was a throwback, wasn't it? I mean, you look at announcements at E3, the shock announcements, they get leaked now, don't they, quite often? Whereas, I mean, Yu Suzuki with a forklift tweet, okay, fair enough. If you're a Shenmue fan, you probably sat there going, right, something's happening. But if you don't know what Shenmue is, you're not going to know what that is.
To be fair, I mean, they could have leaked it because there was still... Twitter was a thing back then.
Yeah.
There was quite a few people in the know. Like, you've got your Ryan Paytons, and obviously there would be other people in the know. But obviously everyone kept it quite hush, which is good.
Yeah, I mean, speaking to John Lineman on the interview I did with him, he said it was known in some sort of media circles about a month before it was rumoured. But to say that it actually, that no one had any categoric clue, no one knew, and then to break the news that way was just
off the charts, wasn't it? I wonder who the first backer was, like number one.
I don't know, because that Kickstarter broke, it crashed it, didn't it? If you remember,
crashed into it, yeah.
Just a quick look at chat again. Where are we? Sliver didn't see it live. A friend was watching, text you afterwards. Strictly Sega. It's weird. I remember watching on iPad. The Final Fantasy thing came up, and I was like, "Oh, that's nice." And then, bam! Yeah. I mean, also, I was waiting for Last Guardian as well, and so it was one of my favourite games on PS4 without question. So it was like the trifecta, if you like, of this is never happening, and it did. But for me, it's the best E3 ever. But I'll park that there for now.
I don't think there's anything that could...
Renners. Renners was at work.
Whereabouts are you, Renners, by the way? You're at work.
And
for some reason I thought Renners was UK, but I don't know.
We've got a new chatter in.
Night shifts.
TV Marksman, well to see you.
Yeah. TTV the Marksman.
TTV,
What's up, dude?
How's it going? Thank you for dropping into our stream tonight. Hope you're well. Retro Godfather.
Those 6 years have flown by. I found out when I watched the E3 event, such a special moment, especially when you walked out on stage. It's something I'll never forget.
Yeah.
6 years ago.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Mental, isn't it?
6.5
years.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense, does it? That.
It's crazy, isn't it? Six bloody years.
Yeah. I thought you were a UK man. Cool. Just working nights. Fair enough.
Okay. God, this guy.
Yeah. There are some good characters. I just wish, and that's probably part of, a flaw of me, that I haven't learnt the characters' names yet, but I do struggle with the character names in Shenmue 3 for some reason. Mr. Sue? Son?
Yeah, Mr. Sue.
Mr. Sue.
Yeah. Yeah, the guy's side quest bags is really funny because the shit he comes out with is just second to none, actually. Mark's been doing well. Yeah, we're good. What are your favourite all-time games? Brilliant. Well, welcome to our streams.
Did anyone ever work out what the thing with the plasters is? Because there's a little plaster on the kid in Yawu as well, right?
Wasn't it some sort of genuine medical thing?
Yeah,
I'm sure it was on our forums. I'm probably making herbal medicine. Thanks, Bags. There we go.
So I remember, I think there was a trailer, one of the early trailers. There was that plaster, and people were debating whether it was like a placeholder for something. But it's actually that detailed as well, which is cool. Must be a common, well, not a common thing, but something people do. Maybe that's what a reuse is. It's just a herbal plaster.
Well, you never know. You never know. It's still surreal, I think, isn't it? That this game just is here. Like, and I said this earlier. Whatever you think of it, love it or hate it, or anywhere in between, the mere fact that this game exists is a statement to gaming. It's a statement. It's a statement. It really is.
I think the more you play it, the more it embeds. What I mean by that is, like, the first time you play it, I think because it's been so long, and I don't know, you don't really know what you're going to expect out of the game. It's not like the first two that you've played it, over 20 times each. You're coming at this from a new thing, and you are going to pick faults with a lot of things, and it might not feel like how you expected it to be after all these years. But I think the more you play it, the more you actually do get on with it and accept it as the third game in the series. I've been playing it again recently, and I'm at that point now where I'm running around, without even looking at the screen. Sometimes I know where to go and what to do, and I think once you've hit that sort of point there, it starts to... I was saying to you, Matt, the other night, I think the first time you play it, it feels like there is a severe lack of story and stuff, because you're doing all these other things. There's a big grind for training, there's a big grind for money. It felt like, especially the first time you're playing, like, how on earth are you making this much money? Because not only have you got to earn the money, you've got to do it through tokens as well, which seems like a second thing as well if you're gambling anyway. Or, if you're just wood chopping, you'd be at it for ages to get, like, your 2 gates and stuff. But I just think those side things there took away from the story that is actually in the game. And when I was playing it, I was speedrunning, and I knew how to earn fast money, and you just get to the story points quicker, and it does feel like there is more story than you remember the first time.
I think as well, and again, we were saying this the other night when we were talking, I think as well, some of it's not obvious. You have to dig around and find it. I think part of it, I mean, take the mainline story out of it just for a minute, is that in typical Shenmue fashion, you have to dig around for this stuff. And I think we're spoilt in gaming these days, where a lot of it's laid out a bit. It's easier to find, whereas Shenmue it's a throwback. It's like it's been in a time bubble, and I think that's part of it. So while I do have
exactly that.
While I have my issues with some of the storytelling, and that's well publicised. I mean, we did a podcast talking all about it. I love it for what it is. You can't, there are faults, absolutely. We shouldn't brush over them, because people need, if we want to improve and build on what we've got, that's what we need to do. But for what it is, it's fantastic. I mean, I'm looking at the chat again. Games were ahead of their time. They were categorically ahead of their time without even thinking about it. And Reynolds is saying, if Shenmue 3 is better if you do all the side quests, DLC quests, you do the move scrolls, etc. I agree, because there's lots to do, Sliver saying, I was disappointed the first time around, but played the second. I appreciated it more and took my time with it and found a lot of the little details I didn't know. And that's exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah. And I think, like what Rena's saying, I think if you do the DLC and all of the side quests, I think perhaps even when they were creating the game, they perhaps didn't realise that people would feel like there was a lack of story because they put so much into these side quests. You've got 15 in Niawu, you've got 10 in Bailu, and then you've got your DLC storyline, which, you know, like I think you were saying before, it felt like they stripped that away to make it DLC. But if you factor that back in to the game, Niawu is a bit more fleshed out because of that.
Much more,
and
in
then you've got a couple of little story things that are going on the ship as well. So if you actually go out the way to do everything, I do think you'd be a lot more satisfied with character building. Perhaps not the characters that you'd want building with. You know, obviously we wanted to know more about Shilling, you know, the Shrine Maiden girl. Whereas a lot of the side quests are like random characters and stuff. But those random characters, you know, we didn't complain about that sort of stuff in the first game. You know, there's a lot of like random characters that you have a bit of like a character building with, you know, Karuta-san, whatever his name is, that's outside the military shop, and there is things like that in Shenmue 3. I don't think they've not added in this, you know, the character to building. It's just not as strong as the original two games, especially Shenmue 2. These like real big character building with Joy and Wong and stuff like that.
It's insane, isn't it? Ginger, I've just seen your comment. Yes, they are. For anybody who isn't aware, I interviewed Josh actually from Limited Run Games, who is 100% a sound bloke. He has Shenmue in his... Yeah, he's a big Shenmue fan. I mean, the reason they got the collector's edition in America is because his company literally took all the risk on it. Oh, you bastard. And that's the reason it went to America. So... He's a big Shenmue fan, but the issue with the collector's edition, there's two issues with it. The first issue they had with it is getting the discs pressed because they had to meet so many requirements for it. I know there's a lot of toing and froing on that. The second issue is a lot of the stuff's made in China, and there's a chronic lack of shipping containers at the moment across the world. You can't get them. So they've got to ship them to America to then ship them out, and that's the issue they're having at the moment. Now, and I've said this to Josh quite openly. I think the communication should be better. It shouldn't be me telling you this. It should be them. But that is the reason why.
To be fair, they have done, but they've got so many other products as well that they're doing it for other products at the same time. So there is a lot. Pretty much every product that they've released in the last year is suffering from the same thing. It's not just a Shenmue 3 collector's edition.
Yeah, it's.
I waited ages for my Panzer Dragoon PS4
You
copy.
did, yes.
Like literally a year from when I ordered to when I got it. Hey up, Sat.
Hey up, Zat. How's it going, man?
How's it doing, dude? Nice to see you.
Good to see you popping in.
Like I said to you before, I'm in no rush. We've got Shenmue 3. It's not like we're waiting for it. So when it comes, it comes.
And it will be good. Like, limited run stuff's
Will be
always,
epic.
you know, decent quality stuff. Let's not beat around the bush around it. Zat, you at work?
Should probably be listening to our voice.
Legend. Absolute legend. What did Mr. Oh, son. Right, okay. Getting distracted. No idea where he lives. That's fine. Brilliant. I love it, Zat. Well done. And good to see you, bud. Hope all is well. I need to pop into one of your streams, actually, at some point.
I'm meaning to, but...
I'm always in bloody bed.
Yeah, same. It was like 3 AM. Your last stream, dude. I would love to, though.
Do you know someone named Son? He comes by every so often.
I
don't know anything about him.
While I'm chucking links out, let me chuck a link out for you as well.
Flying Waffle. Love the name. Good to see you. We'll go for at least 2 hours, I would suggest. But depending on how drunk me and James get, it could be a lot more.
I remember I got my Shenmue 3 on October.
On November 18th.
On 18th November 2019.
Straight
I was straight on my PS4.
I got it on the.
So you got it a day early. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I got it on the Saturday actually. I remember picking it up.
That's lucky, that isn't it?
Yeah, because I got married on the 22nd of November, so I was
glad on the Tuesday it was released.
Yeah, it was on the Tuesday, and I got married on the Friday, and I was glad it turned up on the Saturday because I literally went from Saturday to like Thursday just blitzing as much as I could. I think I got to Niaowu before I got married, and then came home and then did it and finished it off.
I remember what I did, dude. I ordered it. Did I order the limited edition? I think from something like Simply Games. I think because it was like a little bit cheaper there, and I was gutted that it didn't come on the Saturday.
Because I got mine from Shop. It was shop2.net that sent me mine, and it turned up because they used to. They don't anymore. But they used to send stuff like stupidly early, so it was great. Spags. So Rio came on my honeymoon. Yes, he did.
But I think I was working Saturday anyway, so it didn't really make too big of a dent. I only missed out on the Sunday. That I could have had time to play. I had to wait a month until I had a PS4 to play on. Ooh. I bet that was horrible.
Yeah, game sat there and you're like, I can't play it. What's this?
Yeah.
Rio calling her gorgeous.
I think Renna says, I think Shenmue 3 stripped all the way the token gambling and pawn shop, and the movesets would have been better learning them off different martial artists. Yeah, I know what you mean. To be fair, there's loads and loads of move scrolls in the game. Like, at the point where I'm thinking, like, why did they not just do half the amount and do a couple of throw moves in there while they had the motion, whatever that's called. Yeah, when they hide out the motion room. What's that called? Motion capture.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So when they hide that out, instead of like doing another 50 leg moves, why didn't they do 5 throw moves? Just I don't know.
Just looking at the chat again. Sliver had to wait for a month. Titch talk. Oh, you wait for work, so you had to play it and hide away from social media. You did well. Did well to hide from it. Took day off for the birthday and cracked it. Yeah, good idea.
Was that close then? Was that quite close to the release of your birthday?
And then highest Kung Fu level Shenmue 3.
To be fair, it's been 2 years now, so we've all played it through to the end, apart from Flag.
And then Spags was underemployed at the time, so had all the time in the world and blitzed it. And then the second playthrough DLC was a lot more relaxed.
That's good. Yeah.
So this
I
is
was at half and half. I was doing it quickly, but I was going out my way to do stuff because I didn't want to, spoil that first experience.
It's difficult, isn't it? Because you don't want to blitz it, but at the same time you want to know what's going on. But if you blitz it,
excited to reach the next part of the story, aren't you?
But if you blitz it, you miss some of the good stuff, like the Shenhua conversations, for example, which are absolutely top bloody notch. Some of the best conversations in the series, top level.
Even if you are blitzing it, you can still do those at night because they're like designated at the nighttime thing, aren't they? So you can only go to level 43, so you only need half the moveset. So if you get them all. You're training to gain nothing apart from learning moves. Oh, I know what you mean, yeah, because your attack power reaches max before you learn all the moves. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, so what he's saying is there's like obviously a load of move scrolls, but you only need say like 20 of them to go all the way up, but then there's like 50 other ones, so the only thing you get from it is just training.
Just training, yeah. Just make the moves better.
Abdullah, the story
DLC annoyed me. First, as Zhang just wasn't near the hotel at all. Took me a week to activate that cutscene. How so, Abdullah? Like, why? Was that a bug or? So the problem I had with that DLC was I'd already finished the game, so I had to load an earlier Niawu save, I think. And then I think I had to play through the story again just to stay on top of that.
Yeah, I did as well. I mean, I didn't mind it because I was doing a second playthrough anyway, so I did a New Game Plus for it.
Oh yeah, I might have done that myself, yeah. That sounds about right.
Which seemed to work quite nicely. Michael, good to see you.
It's a good idea, Spag. So he's saying the Shenmue 4 conversation stuff, but do it with Ren as well.
Yeah, that'd be
Build that
really
relationship
good.
up with Ren. That'd be cool.
Be cool in Shenmue 4.
I hope, I know we spoke about it before, but as you're walking along that wall, if that's a big long trek, I'd love like a sort of 2-hour Guilin walking, just chatting to both of them though. That would be insane.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Week later, painful wait, but cool, but worth. Was used to waiting after all the delays it had in the end.
Valid point.
A week's not too bad, is it? Nah, not too bad. Not the end of the world.
Strictly Sega Europe just handed over my PhD and was finally free, so just sat in my undies in front of my wife gaming for 4 days straight. Now the question is, are you divorced?
Did you play it on your own, man?
Did I? Yeah, I literally camped out in my office, which I'm in now. I camped out here for basically a week and just played as much as I could. And then on the Thursday afternoon, I had to stop because we had to get ready for the wedding.
Right.
And then
It's good that you had your own sort of time, considering what was going to happen a week later.
And then that's poor. And came back from honeymoon. I think I had a couple of days off work after the honeymoon, so I probably spent another day of it smashing through some more of it. I think I had it finished about 3-4 days after my honeymoon in the end, something like that. Yeah. Not yet, anyway. Oh, that's good. At least she understood.
Very good, very good. I think we'll be doing the same with the anime when that drops.
Yeah.
We'll book a few days off work and just sort of crank them out, eh?
Let's hope. Yeah.
Though,
my missus wants.
I've got a nice idea.
My missus wants to watch it. Actually, she wants to watch because she's big. My missus is big on anime. She loves anime, so she wants to watch it.
Which is nice.
Oh, you just got a house. Nice.
It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because it would be nice to do that, but then you've kind of committed dojo-wise to have like first sort of reactions to stuff.
See, what they should do is they should send us a preview DVD of everything. We watch it quietly amongst ourselves.
Yeah.
And then release it.
Take notes, do videos and stuff.
So if anybody from the anime team is watching us, hint hint.
Hi, Jason.
Yeah, I still need to get Jason on the bloody show. He's like the slippery eel. I think he's a very busy man, in fairness. But he's a bit of a slippery eel.
Renner says, I just hope Shenmue 4 is less focused on earning money to buy useless move you only use once. I want more deep story in Shenmue 4, and hopefully we'll see some characters from 1 and 2 to return. Yeah, I get your point. I mean, I don't want them to overdo it with fan service, you know, like the Chai sort of thing. I don't want them to, like, shoehorn characters in from the old games just to satisfy people, but I would, on that note, love to see Guizhang, you know, it's like nailed on to catch up.
Yeah.
Hopefully. And it wouldn't be weird to see, you know, your Shuings, possibly even Joy and stuff would want to catch up. But I think people like Tom and Goro and stuff would be a bit out of place.
Yeah, unless you did phone calls again, of course.
Yeah.
That might work. Kazuma40, nice to see you. I don't think I've seen you in our chat before over on YouTube. I can't wait for Shenmue 4. Hope they fix the fighting and make it like Yakuza 4-6 or Tekken. I think they just need to polish it off and put throw moves into it, actually.
Interesting, he says Yakuza 4-6 or Tekken and doesn't mention like Virtua Fighter. It'd be cool actually if they are working on a Virtua Fighter 6 and then that is the engine they use in 4 as well. That'd be cool.
Oh, that'd be badass. I'm convinced they're doing Virtua Fighter 6 after the news. Film dudes, 94, thank you for the host and
Hey,
welcome.
film dude.
Make the combat like
Spencer's
Sifu. Yeah.
Tired. Make the combat. Oh yeah, Sifu. Yeah.
That looks really good. In fairness, just characters important. Yeah. I get what you mean there. That's completely second that.
Might see Wong because he could be useful. Yeah, I think if we see Joy, probably going to tag team with Wong.
Yeah, I just think they'd be shoehorning that sort of stuff. But yeah, Guizhong, someone like that would be really good.
Ewing's a cert because she's in the later chapter titles, isn't she?
She is. So yeah, she'll come back, I'm pretty sure, which would be good. Spags, very excited for Sifu. Or Sifu, want to fit Kenna in before. I played Kenna actually, I enjoyed it. It's a little.
They just got Kenna the other day.
I found it was a little light on story for the main character, actually, but I really I enjoyed it as a whole, and I think because apparently it's done really, really well, so I imagine we'll get a sequel, which is great.
It was interesting because they weren't going to do a physical at one point, were they?
No, the bastards, because I bought it digitally. But hey ho,
if we got a cheeky Goro spin-off, I would love it. Renner
fucking Goro, yeah.
I think that's what you're thinking of, Renner's Goro.
Let's have a look else. Too many good games coming out. I mean, Sifu looks bloody brilliant. I will be getting that. I'm going to get it on pre-order. Well, I say I'm going to get it on pre-order. I'm going to hang off just because they might bloody release it. Yeah, because I want a physical copy. I'm an old school man like yourself, James. I want.
Definitely not.
I haven't seen one anywhere. I haven't seen advertised anywhere yet. But that's it could be just me missing that and being blind to it.
No, I haven't seen it either. But it is supposed to be out in February, so it's
February the 8th.
February the 8th, so it's only 2.5 months away. Is it 10 weeks?
Yeah, it's not far. Kazuma, also Virtua Fighter, thanks. I'm new on this and playing this game since the first one. Brilliant. So another
cool, dude.
Fellow Shenmue fan. Favourite game of the three, Kazuma, if I have to put you on the spot. Goro Marishima, for God's sake. I like Goro, but come on!
This one was the best fit. AA. Who's ordered that Shenmue cologne? I think we all have. We're all going to smell the same, that's the problem.
Yeah.
We'll all have a big Shenmue meetup and it's just going to be one big hum of tobacco.
Michael makes a point. I don't know about the others, but I hope we don't play as anyone else other than Rio. It's interesting that because they were going to do a character perspective system here where you're going to play as other people. And if I'm right in thinking, they actually found some remnants of it in the code when Lemon and a few of the modding community sort of got their claws into it. So I don't know what changed. I don't know how.
I think it was based for Baisha, wasn't it?
Yes, Spags as well. The aborted Ren DLC, which Stuart found, who did the character database.
Oh yeah. Do we think that was like another side quest or something, perhaps?
Yeah, I think they were going to have.
He was supposed to be in Bailu, right?
Yeah, he was.
For some reason.
God,
unless it was like a testing thing they were testing.
It's interesting to see what they've cut out, though, isn't it? And what's actually left on the cutting room floor. But again, there's so much we haven't found out. Only time we play as Ren's Battle Rally, it is. But if you go on the forums, there's a topic talking about a deleted Ren quest. Miles Prower, Stuart, on the forums actually picked it up. He did the Shenmue 3 character database. So he's literally logged every Shenmue 3 character and done stats on them best he could with it, and has made a database of it, which is really, really cool. I'll wait for part 4 can answer that question, Chasm. Okay, fair. I suppose there is an argument. Actually, Shenmue 3, in some respects, doesn't quite make a lot of sense until you get the 4th game, so it could be interesting.
That's the...
oh, brilliant. Cheers, James. I'm getting distracted by chat. There's nothing wrong with that. Do a bit of training.
I want to smell like a dude who doesn't shower, fights all the time, and lives only on garlic.
I need help with something.
You came back? Are you here to spar with me?
Yeah, I think when we're on about like that character perspective thing, I assumed it would only be like, 10-minute chunks at most. Not like you're seeing the whole game through the eyes of the character. Not like Sonic Adventure 1.
It was weird. It's weird, isn't it? Because how do you? It's a balance, isn't it? Because you don't want to go too far, do you? In going into like other characters' stories, you don't want to take away from Rio's story. But at the same time, there could be some really interesting stories taught and told.
It could, but like I think a lot of people's worries is it's always been Rio entered the first 2 games you played all Rio, and now all of Rio and Shenmue 3. It might feel a bit tacked on and weird to start playing as a different character.
Yeah.
And like it was afforded, when you've been playing as Casimir for the whole series, and then suddenly you're playing as some random dude breaking out of prison. I saw something about the battle rally. Yeah, Abdullah. The next level of battle rally, you have to keep doing the Bailu hunt.
You do, yeah, Bailu-chan hunt, and it opens up the other levels.
That unlocks more stages, and it increases your character abilities as well, like attack and speed and stuff, right?
Yeah. And it opens up other levels as well. And I think when you do it all, you can actually do it as Chobi-chan, which I thought was really funny. And Spags put
spoilers.
up. Yeah, that's all right. And Spags put up some pictures actually on the forums of Chobi-chan fighting, which was quite funny. Yeah. The real vengeance.
I'd recommend just doing the Bailu hunt stuff first. Just clear all of that, and then it'll just make your battle rally stuff a lot
really
more.
Good.
Yeah, because you'll be able to just one-hit most of the enemies and stuff.
It's really good as well.
And I think you have to do actually first place, or you have to have each character in the first 3 places. So like Rio could be first, Ren second.
Yeah, you do.
And I forgot the girl's name.
Hey Zyba, how's it going? And Jedi Knight 66 as well, welcome.
And that unlocks Chobi-chan. Chobi-chan.
I love Battle Rally actually. I thought it was a really damn good DLC.
Yeah, that's probably my favourite actually. Oops. The Zhang stuff's good just for seeing Zhang again, but other than that, the Chawan sign stuff is a little bit.
It was stripped. It was stripped from the main game, wasn't it? I'm not going to beat around the bush, but it was stripped from the main game. So
I think because it was stripped as well, when you go and do it, you're doing it all in one chunk, or at least I was. So I was going just doing the Chawan sign stuff, so it felt a bit like not copy and paste, but just a bit repetitive. Because you have to do about 6 or 7 different Chawan sign things, don't you? Back and forth, back to the hotel,
and
back to the next bit, and it was like kept advancing further and further. So it was like a big constant run all the time.
Zyba's right actually. If you progress the story too much, you miss parts of it, which I agree with.
True. Yeah.
So it can be a little bit difficult in that respect. How much money they spent on Battle Rally rather than the story? Probably not a lot, in fairness.
I think they probably just used what they already had, right?
Yeah, because the battle system was already there. It's just a case of then lining it up. Because essentially, what it is a copy and paste of the castle. So they built that for the castle, so they just moved it across.
They just reused the map assets, and then reused the gameplay mechanics.
I mean,
Bailu-chan is basically like finding. Although they did add the radar, that's about all they added.
But I mean, you could argue it could have gone somewhere else, but I don't think it'd have had that much of an impact, quite honestly.
Unless it means like by doing that stuff, they're spending more money because it's time, work, and effort.
I mean, it's
the same could be said about the amount of like stuff that's going on in Niawu that's perhaps unnecessary. Like the 5 different arcades. Perhaps we only needed 1. But I don't know actually how much time was spent on fleshing out Niawu.
I'm going to quote a very old, an old interview, it's a year old now, Ryan Payton part 1 that I did I think I released it last November in fact. We talk about the development a little bit because Ryan was not hands-on, but he was sort of an advisor for the development post Kickstarter, and he was saying that around 70% of the time they were working on the game was spent on the systems. They had no source code. They had no sort of reference from the original games other than sort of the notes that Yu Suzuki had and Sega let them have. So they've had to rebuild the whole game from scratch. So 70% of the time has been spent on building systems. So you can imagine something's going to unfortunately have to give with it. Now you could argue in defence of people who are quite right in saying that the story wasn't as much as it should have been. And I do agree with that to a point. Is that maybe they should have focused on one area. But I would counter that in saying we lost Baisha. So can you imagine the outcry in the media had they got rid of Niawu or another area and just did it all in Baidu, for example?
Yeah, if it was just one area, I think even we'd feel disappointed, even though, you know, saying now you could say you'd rather have a much smaller world but a lot more detailed. I think you'd still be disappointed if it was just the Bailu village stuff. I think for me, the fact that we got a whole other area, it felt Shenmue in a way.
Oh.
You know, you're excited to travel to a brand new area as well, because Bailu Village, even though it is a new area, it's still sort of end of Shenmue 2 Guilin content, isn't it? So to see a whole brand new area to explore was quite exciting.
They were in a tricky place, actually, because I think
that balance as well, aren't you, as well? Like you were saying, like Bailu Village is a bit more Shenmue 1 and Yaowu is a bit more Shenmue 2, so you got that kind of like rural and industrial combined. So best of both worlds for whoever preferred, you know, Kowloon over Guilin or Dobuita, or Hong Kong over Dobuita rather.
Thanks, Kazuma, for dropping in. And hope to see you again, because I see you're just popping off. Wow, Renner's Baisha was built in some form. If you look at Adam Scipione's one of his trailers for the documentary he's doing, there was concept for Baisha. It exists in some form. How much of it, we don't know. But it definitely exists. And Spags is making a good point. In Wisenets, I think it's 30 people on their books, maybe 40. It's not a very big team. But hey. And one thing I am going to say is how damn good do the environments look in this game. Find me a more colourful, well-presented environment in any game, and I think you'll struggle.
I find that development thing actually.
As for Baisha, yeah, they got further than people think. I think halfway, it's not impossible. It's not impossible in my book. I think, you know, we could have had. Baisha wasn't far off. They had to make a decision to change things to meet deadlines to get the game out, which, you know, it's a shame. We may see it in Shenmue 4, who knows? I'd love to see Baisha, because I know in the Kickstarter, Yu-san was very vocal about it. That was one of the big selling points.
Yeah, we might still see it, like you're saying.
Zyva, we've got an hint from Corey. They built stuff recorded lines for Shenmue 4 during development of 3. I mean, that wouldn't be out of the question. I mean, I don't know categorically what that, you know, whether that's the case, but I mean, they did it with Shenmue 1 and 2. They were essentially done jointly. And we know, I mean, this was a year ago now, but we know Shenmue 4 exists in some sort of form because they've pitched the bloody thing. So you're right. Engine-wise, they've got a solid engine now. They just need to build on it. Use the engine, use the assets, polish it up, hammer the story, and I think you'd be on for a really damn good game. And actually, I've said this before, I would love, assuming the anime is good, of course, which it looks bloody fantastic, I'd love the team there, the writers in there, to get involved.
Yeah, that would be a match made in heaven.
Spags is right again. Why isn't it remains open and working? It does. They're working. I don't know what they're working on, but they are doing something.
Cyber says we've got hints from Corey that they built stuff recorded lines for Shenmue 4 during the development of 3. Since the groundwork has been laid already, engine-wise, should be able to get a lot of good stuff next time.
Zach, you're right. Adult Swim does have a game dev team. I don't know how big it is, but I know they have one.
Yeah, someone was saying the other day actually that Adult Swim were originally going to be behind Toe Jam and Earl, the new Toe Jam and Earl Back in the Groove thing, but then they pulled out or something for some reason. Was the Great Wall teased in the Shenmue 3 trailer?
It was.
It was, yeah.
It was in the 2017 Gamescom trailer. You've got Mr. Muscles, or G as his name is, and Rio fighting, and it's on the Great Wall. And actually there's some promo art of the Great Wall as well, kicking around.
Yeah, where they're like in one of the towers. Let me see if I can find that. I'm trying to find the development screenshot. I could just load, like you say, the Adam Cipione video thing, but I was trying to find it on the media section.
It'd be around somewhere.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought it'd be in the development screenshots, but I couldn't see it. So I might have to mention to Peter on some of the ones in the Shenmue 3. There's like just 3 dots again. New titles for some reason. Here you go. So early on we did get actually what appeared to be one of those Tulu buildings. That's a screenshot there of like Rio fighting a Chi-Man.
Oh, that's really early.
Yeah, that was really early, so it makes you wonder where they started first. If you know what I mean, because like you're saying, Baisha was one of the main touted places. That's where Yu Suzuki was like saying all this stuff was going to happen, stretch goal wise and whatnot. We did have a Great Wall, just a released early development shot, but you could just argue that that is the cutscene at the end of the game. Still, that one. Making a lot better time to load for some reason. There's that many of them.
Right, let's do a bit of lucky hit, and then we'll be back to talk to Shenhua, which I love these conversations in fairness, so it's all good. I think we'll get the anime, and then I think they will announce Shenmue 4. I mean, that's the hope, runners. That is the hope. For those who watched the anime, of the reveal of it, they were talking about it. Hopefully gets new people involved, and they have built the anime quite quick. I mean, it was announced. I know it got greenlit as Shenmue 3 was in development, or it was greenlit around then, just come out, and they greenlit the anime. So they've had 2 years ish on it. So it's quite a lot of time. Oh, cheers, Zach. Thanks for dropping in. Good luck with the rest of your day at work. Does anyone remember that really early clip of hanging from a train that would indicate Shenmue 4 being more action-packed? Man, I'd love to see that.
That was Project Berkeley trailer, that was.
It was, yeah.
There's quite a bit in that Project Berkeley trailer that potentially we could see. There was that one that's got like the big head thing, you know, like I don't know, like a statue of a head, and then it opens up and there's like big beaming light coming out of it.
Yeah, and Shenhua uses her powers, doesn't she, to push like 2 black suits off of her.
Yeah, and then there's a bit where she's crying as well.
I don't know, it was probably funded from leftover Kickstarter money. I don't think there's any Kickstarter money left. I don't know who. I think it's an Adult Swim funded project, if I'm honest, but I could be making that up.
Okay, for some reason I've got titles on my Mac, but no titles on my PC.
How weird.
it's loading a lot faster on my Mac. It's shot now.
But they have built the anime really bloody quick. Like, Shenmue 4 has to smash it. I completely agree. And Ryan Payton, yeah, he did. He did speak about boosting the action in the next game. He is right. Because I think if they do that, hammer that down, and it feels like Shenmue 2 in terms of action, lots of story development, character development, I think you'd be onto an absolute winner. I really do. I think you'd be universally praised by the fans, at least. There will always be detractors for Shenmue, because there just will be. I think we just have to get used to that fact these days, don't we? But I think
there is. Is there not a better...
Come on. Yes. Getting me some tokens. Right, we're going to talk to Shenhua now.
Yeah, it's I've got it on my Mac, but then I'm not in the stream on my Mac, so I can't copy the link in. Here you go, it's here now. This is the one I was going to copy, but to be fair, it's not the one I was thinking of. I think there's another screenshot, right?
It barely changes.
I think
That's
there
like
is.
A close-up one.
Well, if you look at one of the... Are we still on the Great Wall?
Yeah.
Because one of the posters I keep using is the Great Wall. That's one of the art shots.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one I've put in previously.
I hope we meet the master.
It might be in the trailer. You know, as it pans around in the trailer, you can see them both inside one of the towers fighting, rather than a screenshot.
Abdullah, we need more action, more fights, more rear helping NPC from gangs, etc. Yeah, I can see your point. And then Reynolds, I hope we meet the master of the mystery Scott. I do as well, because that's 3 games now, and we are no fucking closer to what that's going to be, do we?
That's true. Master and Mrs. Scroll. Find out what's going on with the White Leaf as well.
Cheers, Ginger. Good to see you as always, man. I've seen you sort of dotted around some other Shenmue streams. So I'm sure I'll come across you in some other streams across the week. Thanks for dropping by as always, bud.
Cheers, Ginger.
I'll see if I can find it.
Okay.
Right, where's she gone? Let's have a talk.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to judge where the series is going. Obviously, we're going to the Cliff Temple.
Mm-hmm.
Where after that? Or...
We've got to go to Menkung. We have to go. I'd be really surprised if we don't. And also, what about the Luang, isn't it?
Yeah, that place as well. But also, they've got there's at least one chapter tile, or maybe 2, of Beijing as well. The Forbidden City.
Right, Trey Godfather, I'd like to see more NPCs walking around in Shenmue 4. Yeah, I would. I mean, if you use Lemon's mod fix, you can get more loaded in. Spags, the Shanghai has been suggested too, yeah.
As well. I've heard of like Shuzo as well. Although that could potentially be Niawu. But I think someone else was saying that Niawu's definitely based on something else.
It's based on a legitimate...
Based on that one that begins with an F. Yeah, I think one.
Yeah, because the Kitchen Brothers were saying actually the water there is green,
yeah.
Whereas in the game it's blue.
Yeah, exactly. We were pretty intense.
Grey Fox Gaming, good to see. Have we seen the Shenmue cologne? yeah, we have. Do you know what?
Better or worse?
Yeah, it's good fun, isn't it?
It is good fun.
At the end of the day, it's more Shenmue stuff.
Yeah.
So why the hell not?
Completely random.
It's so random.
Oh yeah, thanks mate. Yeah, I'm doing well anyway. I think Matt's doing well.
Yeah, all good. All good. I'm just adding some people.
Yourself?
Adding some people into the draw for later. So for the new people who have come into stream, I have a steelbook to give away. So as you're popping in.
Oh, sorry, mate. I was just going to say, wasn't there another country as well, Spags, that someone was on about a while back? I want to say like Peru, perhaps. Or is that just some of like the early Shenmue concept art?
I mean, I can't see it. I'd be surprised if it left Asia.
Well, there aren't any schools here.
So, Grey Fox, have you ordered any of the Shenmue cologne?
They go to school in the next village over.
But you didn't go.
Tibet, that was it. Tibet.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
I had to stay home and take care of the chores.
I love these conversations.
Like,
Father taught me everything in the school.
You get.
that's probably like Virtua Fighter Remnants.
Yes. Every night after he came back from the quarry, no matter how tired he
I love these because you get like a feel for Shenhua and her character and who she is and what she is, and some of these are the best conversations in the game, and probably one of the best in the series. Gold Dalek, good to see you, my friend.
Yeah, dude.
Clearly a Doctor Who fan.
Shenmue 3 on Xbox. That would be nice. Hopefully. We did push a tweet the other day. Actually, we were trying to like gauge a bit of interest for Shenmue 3 on Xbox.
We did, and we got quite a lot of feedback on that, and we were quite deliberate in who we tagged in that tweet, weren't we?
Yes, you look pretty athletic.
That was on Monday, I think we did that. Monday morning.
Yeah.
About 7 o'clock in the morning because I was oddly up on my day off.
Yeah, that place looks sick. There's a little bit in the Awui actually. Oh, the river's coming through the town.
A bit of water actually.
Is that the exact place that Yu Suzuki went, was it, Spugs? Where he was like taking photos of the Tulu buildings and stuff. And he was actually doing that in development of Shenmue 3 as well, wasn't he? There's like a more modern photo of him in front of one of those Tulu buildings. Close, okay.
Tell me, what's your favorite memory from when you were
That place that I think it was Shenmue Unofficial found, that's meant to be where the Cliff Temple is. That place looks absolutely stunning. I'd love to go there myself. And I don't know if you've seen it, Spags, but even at night, like the whole of the cliff is like lit up. It looks sick.
what you bought right there?
Yeah. So my friends and I would go almost every day.
Rennes, what? There was a rumour about 15 years ago about it going to the USA.
Interesting. Don't remember that one.
Like I say, it could just be like Virtua Fighter Remnants, story-wise.
I mean, because Jackie and Sarah Bryant are from USA, so it could well have done. Film, do you get Shenmue 1 and 2 on Switch? Yeah, 100% it should be on there. And Shenmue 3 on Xbox, and then hopefully on Switch as well. I think there was a comment over, I think it was on the 500k, someone was talking about it going on to Xbox Game Pass would be a good idea. So thoughts on that would be interesting. I mean, on PlayStation, I think you should have 1, 2, and 3. PlayStation Plus, job done. Personally,
that would be good. Like I was saying to you, have all 3 as one of the 2 games that they give away.
Because then
it's not like
you're getting 5 bloody. You're getting 4 games. 4 games. It's ridiculous. If you get that other games on top of it. Cliff Temple looks terrifying. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to know what's going to go down in that Cliff Temple. And hopefully we'll find out in the next few years, hopefully. And we don't have to wait 15 to 20 years, because if we have to wait 15 to 20 years, I'll be in my 50s. And
it can't, can it? It's got to be soon.
Yeah, I mean, I think the anime's key to it, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a big part of it, in my view anyway.
Leo, it's morning.
So some of the other stuff I've got behind me, guys. What have we got? The Pix and Love stuff. You did an unboxing of that recently, didn't you, man?
I did, yes. Check that out on YouTube.
Have you done both of them now?
I've done the Pix and Love, and I've done the limited run 2019 version. Yeah.
This is a really nice collector's edition.
Good morning, Leo.
Good morning.
So look at some of the artwork, actually.
Some of the artwork in that is like
the artwork in this one's better than the Kickstarter art book, right?
Yeah, it's really good, some of it.
I need to talk.
Okay, thank you so much.
I was surprised as well when you were doing it on your unboxing how many pages there was.
It was quite long, actually. Like, I was surprised. Film Dude, Shenmue Trilogy on PS Plus, and same month the anime comes out. Yeah, perfect sense.
Hey,
Rio.
have a good day. Be safe.
Oh, yeah, let me try and get some more obscure characters, see if there's anything.
All Film
Early
Dude
designs for Niao-san.
Film Dude, you're controversial there. You like Shenhua's new look. Ooh, some people didn't. Yeah, were quite vocal about it. I mean, I don't mind it, but
some kids.
Yeah, it's a really good art book. Really good art book. I was thoroughly impressed with it when I got it.
This guy, he's got a Ryo Hazuki plaster
on
the side of his cheek there. You can see, yeah, you can see.
I don't know about Microsoft, you know, taking over Sega. Their record with their studios is patchy. But, you know, that's just my opinion. Gold Dalek,
Who's this guy, man? Is that the guy at the end of the game?
He looks like him, doesn't he? Old Jeet Kune Do guy that Ren kicks in the face.
See, I've always wondered, you know, I think someone was saying this, I think you said the other day actually, that this guy you think that was more of like a fan service. But I do I do wonder if they've just forgotten what characters they'd already used in the first two games. Because that is that the original artwork of the tattoo guy?
I don't think so.
So this has been drawn since Shenmue 2, for example. Who's this guy with the specs?
I don't know. Who wants to team up Data the GTA? No. Fucking God, no.
I think this is old artwork though, because that is the Liu and Shiren, right?
Yeah! It is, in fact, isn't it? Certainly early concept work.
Early concept art of Beijing. It's a really good art book, to be fair, for like characters like this guy. Who's this guy?
I don't know. Random NPC.
Possibly. This guy looks like the guy that answers the door in Shenmue 2.
He does a bit.
You know, and when you're asking him about Manmo. Manmo something.
Manmo Temple, yeah, he does a bit, doesn't he?
And then this guy looks like the homeless guy in Shenmue 2.
He does. Whose name eludes me right now.
So it's weird, actually. I don't know if any of this... See this artwork on this page, man? Is this... None of these characters look familiar, so... Even though it's in a Shenmue 3 artbook, I mean, this could still potentially be future character model.
Yeah,
artwork.
or it could be old models. Yeah, we don't know, do we?
Yeah.
But it is definitely exclusive to that art book, because you look at the Kickstarter one, it's very different. But the Kickstarter one has a lot of NPCs walking around the castle, for example. So I do wonder what was planned for that.
This girl, I don't know, is this Shenhua? Or do we think it's someone else?
Looks like
white hair.
Looks like someone else.
That looks like Shenhua, though, in a green outfit.
I love the training in the game film, dude. I find I love these sorts of mini games. I'm a sucker for them. They're addictive.
I don't think this Pix and Love stuff's like still available though, right?
No. Get them on eBay.
Liver. Yeah, it could be buy ship character models. They didn't end up using, but yeah, pretty cool.
I mean, you can get that Pix and Love version on eBay, but just watch what people are charging for it, because some people are off their heads. I love
That's the
actually.
anomaly, I think.
Just as a random thought, I love how the animation changes here. That when you advance enough, the 1-inch punch animation changes. It's really cool. Just a little detail.
A bit more badass like.
Yeah, because he's hardly moving, yet he's like destroying it. I mean, Retro, you're right. I mean, I didn't need encouragement to buy it. I bought it immediately. Jedi Knight, I've all got the Bruce Lee vibes when I did this activity. Yeah, definitely.
I think we're all expecting, the pole thing where I forgot what that's called. Where there's like 6 pole things and you a bit Jackie Chan-esque.
I'm a little surprised actually. If you go down into Bailu Village, they got that.
Oh, there's one right behind you there. I think it is the horse stance one. It's got those pole things, but obviously you do the horse stance rather than that activity.
I know in Bailu you've got that the platforms where that dude's doing all those like flippy moves. That would have been a cool mini game for training, like for your balance and stuff.
Balancing and stuff. Yeah.
Take care, Garlic. Good to see you, my friend.
Good night, dude. Thanks for stopping by.
Damn. Alright, I'll get my Kung Fu up a level.
Yeah, surprised that wasn't a train mini game.
I was a bit. Could have been quite a good one.
Cool. He's like a bit of an Easter egg, and he's one of the last guys that you fight in the Rose Garden.
He is, yeah. Which is quite cool.
I do wonder if there's like still anything that we've yet to discover hidden away. Very Shenmue-like.
It's funny, isn't it? Because I bet there's stuff in the first 2 games we don't even bloody know about.
That's true. Still.
20 odd years on.
I think it was only like last year we found the last newest thing, right? The like the zooming in the park and that sort of stuff.
It's amazing that stuff sat there for 20 years, and just quietly not found, and then someone finds it.
It's crazy, isn't it?
I'd love to know what the guys who are doing the Dragon and Phoenix project have found actually and haven't sort of shared yet.
Yeah.
There we go.
And they're adding more things as well, which is cool.
They're very busy at the moment. There hasn't been a lot of project updates on that one yet, but they're very, very busy putting stuff together. So don't fret, that's still being worked on for those who are sort of out of the loop. Welcome back, runners.
Welcome back, dude. So out of the 2 areas of Shenmue then, Shenmue 3, which is your favourite, would you say?
It's Bailu. I love Bailu Village. There's something about it. I could spend hours in Bailu Village.
We've got any Niawu lovers in the chat? Prefer Niawu over Bailu?
I also think because we've been waiting for so long to visit here, maybe that's partly colouring my judgment, but
possibly in the fact that you'd learn a little bit more in Bailu than you do in Niawu. About your father and the mirrors and Shenhua and possibly.
Yeah, the village.
It's the village.
Yeah, it's top. The village is excellent. Oh, rapping prefers Niawu. Fair play.
Have you got a reason for that rapping?
Excuse me.
He says more Shenmue 2 vibes, which I get. Yeah, I do get that.
Both's probably the correct answer. Yeah, it's hard to judge. I do really like Niawu. I think it's weird because out of Shenmue 2, I would say Guilin is my favourite stuff. But I do really like the city aspect.
Get us some money.
Yeah, but I don't like is the walking areas in the album.
Yeah, I mean they're loading areas, aren't they? But I mean, luckily Lemon did a mod for that on PC. If anybody wants to download it, it's on the forums. I will eventually get around to doing a video of installing them all. It's on the list.
It's next on the docket.
Flipping. I mean, booking people for the interview series as well today as well, so that sort of took over.
I know. I was thinking that. I was thinking that you were like taking a break and then you're already arranging new interviews.
I mean, they're not taking place till January, so but just gives me a break.
So dojo wise, the schedule upcoming. We're going to record a podcast probably next week.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about Niabu, actually.
We are indeed.
And then coming up towards Christmas, we're going to have like a Christmas special, which I'm quite excited about because, well, today, I think it was yesterday as well. I was thinking about some of the stuff that we could talk about and some of the stuff that we could do, and I'm thinking of like a Christmas cracker sort of aspect. Obviously, we haven't got Shenmue crackers, but we could pretend that we're cracking open Shenmue crackers, and I've already written like 5 jokes, Shenmue themed jokes that I'm quite excited to try and to do.
Also, we will have a Christmas stream.
Christmas stream planned as well, yeah.
Yeah, Christmas party stream. So I expect everybody to be getting heavily drunk and eating turkey, or if you're vegetarian, eating an alternative. Good old dojo Christmas streams. They always get quite messy.
I'm half tempted to give you guys one of the jokes I wrote.
Bollocks to it. Do it.
This is a little bit of a bonus. That's a little joke. So this is I'm only going to do one. I'm not going to get hooks into this, but so what did Jar Jar Binks say to Zhang Yu when he was thrown out of his barber stall?
Go on.
How rude.
Oh, for God's sake. Fucking hell. That's definitely a Christmas cracker joke, isn't it? Oh, dear. Oh, you got, yeah.
That's the right way of pronouncing the wood, anyway, the full wood. How rude.
I'm just going to make a random point that's outside of the joke. I like the fact that they've actually given Rio here a stair walking animation. I'm a sucker.
Just have a chuckle there.
You look at a lot of modern games, they just don't have an animation for walking upstairs. Shenmue 3 does. Hold on, if we're having a Shenmue Christmas, we'll be having KFC, not turkey and debris. Well, I'm happy with KFC.
Me too. I don't know if you've heard, where's Stratford, man, in relation to you?
About 2 hours away.
Really?
Yeah.
It is London area, right? Still 2 hours away. Wow.
It is because the traffic just fucks it.
Right, fair enough. But yeah, opening tomorrow apparently in Stratford is the very first Popeyes in the UK.
I did see that.
You know, yeah, did you see that? We had it actually because we went to Vegas. I think it was for a honeymoon. Actually, I should. It was for a honeymoon. God, was it really that long ago? It was about 6 years ago then. But we had Popeyes. It was amazing. I know you see like a lot of people, obviously if you live in America and you've got the choice of Popeyes, McDonald's and all those other places, it probably isn't that special. But
Yeah,
if you've never had that kind of food before, yeah.
Wait the same.
It's kind of like just an alternative to KFC. But apparently they are supposed to be opening like 300 stores around the UK.
Really? So they're properly like coming in
Properly
and
going for it.
not messing about.
And the same with Wendy's.
Wendy's is, yeah, I know that they've come over here.
Yeah.
I like Nando's. I love Nando's. I'm a sucker for Nando's. I haven't had one in ages.
Yeah, I quite like Nando's.
We haven't got the nearest one's Oxford.
I'm more excited, more excited about Popeyes though. And like he says, it's going to be made with British chicken as well. So
okay,
should be good.
Now here's a good thing, and I really like this here. Titch love Nando's.
Cheeky Nando's, eh?
I like these questions you ask Mr. Sun actually, because you talk about the verdant British, but you also talk about your father, which I think is quite cool. Shenmue Nando's meetup. Well, funnily enough, like all joking aside, we were talking about a Shenmue meetup again because we did one in October 2019, which was quite good fun. Do you think if you put to KFC and Shenmue before they'll agree to fund the game? Well, why don't we ask them?
I was on about this a couple of weeks ago. I think it was in Titch's stream for Crazy Taxi. We were on about the product placement and stuff. Who pays for who? Because obviously you'd think KFC would want to be in a popular game, but I think actually it's the other way around, and that's why these licensing issues that Sega probably had to pay KFC to get them in the game.
Yeah, and that's why actually if you look at some versions, some of the stuff's taken out. Some of the buildings have been changed. Reynolds, I'd definitely go to a Shenmue meetup. I mean, we did one 2 years ago. We did one, and it was quite busy. We got messages from Corey and Eric Calso for us, which was really good.
Yeah. How many people would you reckon? About 30 people?
30 to 40 people sort of turned up. I brought my gaming PC down. I brought my laptop down. We had some mini games going. I had the demo of Shenmue 3 going for those who hadn't played it. And we just had drinks and chatted Shenmue. We did a quiz. Gave away some stuff as well.
We had a whole little room to ourselves as well. It was like really
big
cool.
fuck-off projector as well.
You did a quiz. It was nice, wasn't it? Just a nice sort of atmosphere. And yeah, awesome. So I definitely would love to do something like that in the future again.
I think I
know COVID is settling a little bit, but it'd be nice if it was like a little bit more settled. I think.
Like you probably
start to plan like a big meetup.
Like I think probably like springtime would be a good shout. And what I'd do is we could get somewhere where we can hire you can hire a place out or whatever.
Yeah.
And play some games, have a few drinks, chill out. Where was that? UK. It was UK. Yeah, London. We did it. Case numbers of COVID still pretty bad. Yeah, I mean, I'm touching wood as I say this. We're quite lucky. Renner's bring his gaming laptop. When we did the meetup a couple of years ago, I brought my PC down. Actually, I drove down, brought my PC, brought my laptop, and we had it all
quite well. To be fair, we were doing like 70-man battle challenge and darts challenge. I think we did as well.
Yeah, we did. We had a darts challenge. We had 70-man battle challenge. We had a quiz going. So we had quite a lot of
give away some good prizes. Actually, that I remember giving away.
We did
something pretty. Forget what it was, but I think Vivi Gamer won actually. Not Vivi. Larry Loomis.
Yeah.
Yeah, he won something good.
I gave away an Xbox copy. There was some other stuff I gave. Maps, I think I gave away. There was all some. I can't remember. It was so.
Maybe
William, welcome. You did go. I remember your name actually.
William Lovering.
Oh, that's better.
So, you knew my father. Is there anything you can tell me about my father?
Specs. Top of a flat roof pub. Made up like the arm wrestling area from Odin and Shenmue 2.
A few of us, was it end of August, early September, a few of us went into London, didn't we? And yes, you did win the darts. That was it.
Okay.
We went out. Me, James, Pads, Sheep, Scribe, we all went into London, met up.
Was that September, was it?
Early September, yeah.
God.
And we went to...
I was there and it's...
We went to Four Quarters. I can't remember which one.
Yeah.
We went to Four Quarters, which was cool. And we went to a place called Flight Club, which is literally a darts club. So you can imagine we were in heaven as Shenmue fans throwing darts. It's good fun as well. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
I don't know if I've literally just bought a dartboard like that.
Hey, you have, haven't you? You did an unboxing on it, didn't you, the other day?
Yeah. Because of Flight Club, really. But yeah, that was cool. And we went to Ikudo.
Oh man,
the
food was so good. Oh, it was so bloody
Insane.
good. It was the food was insane. Such good food.
Just thinking about it, I want it now.
Just checking everybody. Yeah, got everybody in the competition. Yeah,
I think all that stuff's like in London.
There's one in Bristol actually, which is only about an hour from me. A Flight Club. Flight Club.
Oh, okay.
I think Apudu.
Yeah, well, I did go with Flight Club in Manchester, was it? So they're fairly close. Flight Club's like all over the country, I think.
Yeah, they're taking off, I think. They're quite popular. I mean, when Pads booked it, it was quite like, it was full, wasn't it? He struggled to get a decent slot for us, didn't he?
Yeah, that's true, and that was...
We booked that way ahead.
A couple of months. Yeah. I was surprised, to be honest, because you wouldn't expect that many people to be that interested in darts, but I think because of... Well, obviously that place is a little bit more social. At the same time, it's like quite a cool bar sort of area, cocktails and that sort of stuff going on.
Yeah, you have a few drinks, you throw some darts. It's all good fun.
Yeah, and they can bring pizzas out to you and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, they can. Reynolds, Manchester would be good.
Nice, Reynolds.
They've got like a massive arcade up in Bury, haven't they?
Dude, I want to go there. Is that arcade club you're on about?
Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah, let's go there.
I mean, it's about 3.5 hours.
That's got a good potential for like a proper meet-up there.
Depends where people are as well,
of arcades. Yeah. And they've got, I think they've actually got an actual outrun machine.
Yeah, they do.
An actual space area, was it? I know they've got at least a couple of the proper full-fledged, outrun is one of them. Oh, they've got an actual Super Monkey Ball arcade machine. 18-wheeler. Astro City cabinets too have this bag. So have you been? Check out the bloody games line up there. They've got so many games.
It's insane. It's massive. I think it's the biggest in the UK, isn't it?
Probably is, you know. Like it says more than 300 games.
There's a little gaming... I say little. There's a gaming arcade in Milton Keynes, actually, which was pretty good. But most of the cabs are the stand-up ones. I mean, they haven't got a lot of room, in fairness, but it's still cool.
Yo, Shenson.
Hey, son, how's it going, man?
There is there's a few little Sega amusement places dotted around. I think there's one in... it's like a beachy sort of area. Begins with an S.
Southend?
To know where I'm on about. But I think maybe that the Sega arcades in the UK at least are a bit more like ticket collecting rather than...
They are, yeah.
Which you'd think if it's a Sega branded arcade, they should really have like loads of little Sega cabinets and stuff, but I think they've gone a bit more down the ticket route where you win prizes and stuff. A bit like Shenmue, actually, Shenmue 3.
Ah, damn. I got
Whack-a-mole, whack-a-mole.
Whack-a-mole, damn it. Massive arcade in London. Don't know if it's still functioning. You on about the Namco, son? Or is that you on about a different? Because Namco Funscape shut down, which is bloody disaster.
Yeah. That's crazy. Because that was right by the London Eye as well.
Been there years. I went there as a kid. Yeah. It probably wasn't even called the Funscape then.
Yeah, man. And I went with Paddy actually not too long ago, and there was quite a few people in there. And there's like a downstairs bit with ping pong tables, and I think they had darts and bowling and stuff. And it was all packed. It was crazy.
I'll give it a try.
So for it to shut down, that's crazy.
I wonder if they just, with COVID and everything, it fucked them. Didn't they have VR there as well? Am I making that up?
Yeah, they did, mate. Yeah, they had. I think that's where Peter played the Mario Kart VR thing. I don't know if you were there.
I wasn't. I was doing something else. I couldn't go to that meetup because Peter was over for something else.
Yeah, they had a Beat Saber arcade machine lined up as well. It's such a shame. Seems like COVID's kind of like fucked a few places up, like the Kowloon themed one in Japan as well.
That went, didn't it? Yeah.
That went, and a couple of Sega arcades in Japan.
Well, then one of them reopened across the street, didn't it? It was the building that was knackered, not the arcade. I can't remember which one it was.
The Sega one
in Japan, yeah. One of them reopened literally across the road.
All right. It's probably just a headline thing then, where it was saying like it was shutting down after so long.
I'd have to.
I did see. I saw some pictures on Twitter actually of like loads of people gathering around outside it because it was like such a big event. This Sega arcade was shutting down.
Oh shit! Oh no, I've blown this.
Oh, it's a shame, Retro. You wanted to go to the Namco bar, but you never did. Are you talking about the one in the IT crowd? Is that in like the IT crowd? Was it that Namco?
Fuck. Cool.
I can't think of the scene you're on about.
Yeah, Spags, I think you're right there, bud.
I'll keep going.
I don't think it's gonna be the right. Yeah, it's a shame. I mean, I remember Sega World at the Trocadero in London.
Oh, dude, fuck me.
And there was Sega World in Bournemouth as well. That arcade, it's not Sega World anymore, but it's still an arcade.
Right, okay. I did go that Bournemouth one as well. Probably about 10 years ago. I don't know if it was Sega then. I think it was Sega because that's what got me in there. And they had an initial D machine. You know, so I remember that sort of era where they were doing like cards that you put in arcade machines. You had a Ghost Squad card.
Yeah, I remember that.
There was an arcade machine called Maximum Tune that had a card as well. And Initial D had a card. That's the only thing I remember from that Bournemouth thing, was there was an Initial D machine. But that was a cool place. Is that shut down as well, is it?
It's still an arcade, but it's like an unbranded arcade, if you know what I mean. It's not quite what it was.
Yeah.
Oh, new person in chat, Food Key Forever. Yeah, is there going to be a cologne giveaway or what? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm talking
tonight, but...
I'm actually talking to Sega Shop. There might be. There might be. So
it would be good.
Watch this space.
If not, I'm pretty sure we can maybe go halves and get at least one, right?
Why the fuck not?
Get a giveaway. Maybe that could be a Christmas one.
Yeah.
Did you go Sega World then? Did you, Shenslum?
Oh, bollocks.
What a shame, man. I think it's a shame. Like, even after it was Sega World, it was like, they still had arcade machines there. And it still feels quite new to me that I went and they still had the escalator, but it was all shut. They had a few little shops around, like, they had a Japanesey sort of themed shop on the right, and there was a handbag shop or something on the left. And then there was a set of stairs that went down, and they still had a few of the old arcade machines from the Sega World days.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They probably had about 5 machines that had been taken from Sega World, and they were still in this basement area. And that feels quite recent to me, but I bet it was about 10 years ago now. Because I think it's a hotel now.
Yeah, it's changed completely.
Proper dinner.
It's a shame these places went. There's actually a really decent arcade.
It's like right in the middle of London.
Yeah, it's Piccadilly, isn't it?
Yeah, you've got bloody M&M shop there, which... I'm sorry, but M&M's is like one sweet.
Heart of Gaming, son.
Colours.
I've been there. Heart of Gaming in Croydon. That is bloody brilliant. They've got like loads of old school consoles, arcade machines. That's really good. And Mark there, who runs the place, he's a really nice bloke actually. He sold me Panzer
Gaming.
Yeah, Google it. It's over in Croydon. He Googled. He what did he do? He sold me Panzer Dragon 2 actually. I got it off of him for like 15-20 quid. Yeah, he's a real nice bloke. Real nice bloke. When I met him, that must be 3 years
It's an
ago.
arcade.
Yeah, they got like old school consoles set up on all the old like CRT TVs. They've all got the flash carts in them, and they've got like a bunch of old school arcade machines that they've all fixed up and got running.
To you?
No, it's about 2 hours from. It's 2 hours again. Drive it. It's actually probably
everything's 2 hours away from you.
It's probably actually, if I'm on it, it's quicker to go on public transport.
Okay. Hey, it looks smart though.
It's really good.
I'm looking at it now on Facebook. Yeah, pictures. Looks quite big.
Artist Nihat, good to see you.
Got a Simpsons arcade machine.
Mm.
The last time I played that was in Llandudno. If anyone's been to Llandudno, there's is it called the Great Orn or something like that? Have you been Llandudno, man?
No, I haven't.
No way. Well, it's just because it's closer to me then, but there's a place called the Great Orn, and I don't know why there's an arcade there, but there's an arcade, and they had Simpsons. I must be getting a bit drunk here, but they had the Simpsons. I'm pretty sure they had a Metal Slug machine.
Oh really?
Or they had something where you're killing pigs. Does anyone know the game I'm on about? Where it's like, it feels like Metal Slug, but it's like pigs in costumes. Is it Metal Slug? You shoot them and like the armor falls off and it's like pigs.
I don't know.
Llandudno. Yeah. There's one time I went to Llandudno, I went with my mate, and we slept in the car overnight. We just pulled up, we went around a little bit at Llandudno, and we just pulled up at the side of the road and just slept in the car for some reason. I don't know why. It's just that sort of age where I think he just finished his like driving, getting his driving license and all that sort of stuff. And it was just one of those things. We just like, let's just drive to Llandudno and sleep overnight in the car.
Just looking at Son's comment. Heart of Gaming is in Croydon. It's a dump.
Sparkster.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does sound like Sparkster, but why would that be is that an arcade machine, Michael? As well?
It's not
What is it, Leon?
console cafe. Yeah, do you know what? Those console cafes are becoming more and more popular. We've got like a little place where I'm from. It's called the Corridor, and they've got a few like in one wall. They've got like a few Mega Drives set up, so it's becoming a bit more popular. I think that whole idea.
It's not Peppa Pig.
Peppa Pig. I fucking hate Peppa Pig.
Well, that forecourt we went to, they had all these consoles lined up, didn't they? With
yeah, they had everything. They had like a Dreamcast, Mega Drive. They had a SNES, N64. Did they have a PS1? I can't remember. You know.
Possibly, I can't remember. But they had. I don't know if it was a GDMU on the Dreamcast, but you could pick your game, couldn't you?
Yeah, it was a GDMU. Yeah. Oh, there's an anime bar. Oh, I'll tell the wife. She'll love that. Shenmue Watch Party, the anime bar in London. There, be there.
What did they do at an anime bar, Shanson? Is it just to watch anime, or?
I think I'm getting a bit bad actually as well.
Console cafe would be a great idea.
Leo, it's morning.
Well, it is. It's already a thing, man. Were you a little guy with a rocket pack? I know what you mean, Michael. Yeah. I don't think it was Rocket Knight, because I think I'd know it was Rocket Knight or Sparkster. It was more like Metal Slug, but
Good morning, Leo.
Yeah, console cafes.
there were definitely pigs coming out of the armor. But it was with a gun. You were shooting them. Unless my memory's just a bit broken, fucked. I don't know. I think it's just like a regular bar, but themed after anime. Serves drinks, anime-inspired food. Oh, okay, it kind of sounds like those sort of bars you get in Japan then, where you order a meal and it comes like, I don't know, like a panda bear thing out of a beef burger with... It's pretty cool. I did go to a maid cafe in London, just because it's kind of one of the things you end up doing while you're there. That was like that, where we had a bear as a beef burger with ears and stuff. Naughty boy Jim. I went with my wife. It was just it wasn't like a bloody strip club.
We Shenmue Dojo
It's funny
Cafe.
actually, because there was like people on their own there. Just men just sitting there ordering meals.
I hope so too. We should go as soon as possible.
You can see Matt working there. You're on about the maid cafe, Rennis.
Hey, calm down.
Matt in a maid outfit.
You've seen them?
I had a run-in with them at Yan Xing's house. I fought 2 of them off, but I took my eye off the third. They got the better of me in the end.
Sunny Places, yeah.
Well, even monkeys fall
Good
from
song.
trees.
There was a song. What was it in one of the trailers I was about, Matt?
Oh, bugger, yeah. Can't remember which trailer that was. We were talking about it the other day, weren't we? When I was...
It was a trailer because obviously Matt made that pre-roll footage of all the trailers. And there was one song that I didn't recognise as being in Shenmue 3. But it's such a good piece of music.
Yeah.
But there was actually a couple of things I noticed actually in the... Because obviously that was like a evolution of how development, I guess, throughout those trailers. And there was one trailer where there's the hotel lady and Beijing in like Vendor Avenue, which was a bit random. They must have like originally just used them as placeholders for stalls.
That was Gamescom 19.
Gamescom trailer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was. Son, you're right. I mean, London, it's not too far actually. I can get to Shepherd's Bush from here in about an hour and 10 if I get good traffic. And yeah, everything is within a small radius. That's why I'm jealous of London people who live that way, because you've got all these arcade bars and stuff. I mean, it might be a good thing for me in that I won't blow money and I can spend more money on Shenmue merchandise like Shenmue cologne.
True. Well, every time I bloody met up with Paddy in London, we've ended up going to like a arcade place, bar. That that one we went to in Soho.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, it was decent to be fair. Bishi Bashi. God, my hands after that.
Bishi Bashi.
That was bloody hard work, that game.
Have you been to Koko Ichibanyo?
No, I haven't.
That's the curry place. That's really, really good.
Shenson. Soho at night is like playing Real Cutie. Yeah, it bloody is. Spag's gone down a whole arena. Brilliant.
There's a Twitter account for that, Spags. Sega Amusements, I think it is, on Twitter.
Ooh, okay.
They are like the UK-based Sega Amusements, and the tweets don't get many likes, whatever, but they do. Here you go, yeah. At Sega Amusements. They do like tweet occasionally, and they have got a House of the Dead Scarlet Dawn, or whatever it's called, somewhere.
Oh, we were talking about that the other day, weren't we?
Yeah, I've been meaning to go there.
Michael, is Rio sleeping on Shenhua Dad's bed? Yes, he is. Like Shenhua Dad's room. And for those of you, we're talking about an old stream here. God, we did this a few months ago. I did the debug mode stream where we wandered into Shenhua's room as well, which was interesting. You see, like, so they recorded lines for it. You could pick certain items up. It's quite cool. I don't quite understand why you can't go in there, but hey ho.
As if you can actually order arcade machines.
Ooh,
you just found. So
dangerous.
You can order the Scarlet Dawn arcade machine there.
That's dangerous. arcade machine, shove it in my office. I think I'd get killed.
Men in Black. It's a shame that they don't pump these arcade machines, like advertise them a bit more than they do. Because they've got some good franchises here. They've got a Men in Black machine, they've got a Mission Impossible machine.
Ah, yes, those one-up machines are really good. AJ Styles actually has a lot of them. He's got like a downstairs room where he's got like 4 or 5 of them kicking around. He's a big gamer, actually. Big gamer, him and Kenny Omega.
Speaking of the leak, is he this guy?
And now he's punched in the face.
Goro approves. I would like to go to wherever the Scarlet Dawn arcade machine is. Looks like they've got one here. Where's this Arcade Galactic? Oh, that's America. They're advertising like a new arcade machine called Jet Blaster. Sega.
Good old Yang Lang and his full-on Mongolian wrestler design. Brad Venable, who played him, unfortunately died, which is a shame.
He was in something else I mentioned earlier, didn't he?
He's quite a big voice actor.
Yeah, he was in something I was watching or playing something.
Right. Let's get my ass kicked.
Oh, Astral Chain. Brad Venables was in.
Get mastering the fighting system. Yeah, do you know what? I think when you get to grips with it, I love it, actually. I think when you get to grips with it, you can start throwing some nice combos together and start taking people down pretty quickly. I think it gets I understand why it gets the rep it does, but some of the combos and the capture for Rio look really smooth. It's the impact on the other person I think it lacks in, and lack of throws, of course.
You tried like Nightmare mode?
Yeah, that's great fun. The QTE windows in that is a pain in the ass.
The only problem I don't like about the difficulty system is you kind of don't know where you are or where you need to be, or it's a strange one because the first time I played it, the end boss fight, the Guy or Gay, whatever his name is, probably shouldn't have said Gay, fight, it seemed too easy to me, so it felt a bit underwhelming as an end boss fight. It's difficult to judge. I preferred that there was like a set difficulty, so you knew where you needed to be, you know, to beat Donu or whatever, or to beat Chai at the end of the first game. Whereas I just sort of smoked the end boss of Shenmue 1 without even realising, just because I've trained so hard. Capped everything. So maybe if you play it on Nightmare mode or whatever, you would get that feeling again. It's just...
I think as well...
It's just knowing,
because
difficulty-wise, where you need to be.
Because I spent a lot of time training in my original playthrough, it was a bit like that. When I got to these bosses, I was trained up and ready.
Yeah.
So I just sort of took them down. And it would have been cool, I think, to have had sort of branching paths in that respect, but I mean, budget comes into it. But as users, if you ever
I do appreciate being able to change the difficulty.
I do, because it makes things. Yeah, I think that was missing. Although Shenmue 1 and 2 actually, it gets easier the fights if the more you get beaten.
Yeah. So I mean that is a good system in a way. So like,
I think it's to the point actually.
After a couple of fights, if you're struggling, it helps you, doesn't it? So it kind of finds where you should be, or where you are rather, skill level wise. The only thing I don't like with the difficulty in Shenmue 3 is if you start a fight with half health, you've probably got no chance, or it's just like I say again, it's like knowing where you are in terms of where you are. So like if you've got a snake, what they call the snake drinks, snake power. If you've got a few of them, again, you don't really know where you are in terms of difficulty, because you could be using a couple of them to heal, and I suppose you just have to grind and cap yourself, don't you? Get max on everything.
Michael Challenge, has Yuzuki ever said anything in detail about the fighting system? That's a good question. I know that he said in an interview post Shenmue 3 he wanted to put throw moves back and they would be coming back in a fourth game. Do you know, he said a lot about it in Monaco 2019, but I can't remember what he said.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think they've got the beauty of having all these moves that they've created and made now. If they are going to reuse the engine, they only really have to add the throw moves into it, don't they? Moving forward.
It's not too far away, is it?
The health system is not necessarily in Shenmue games. I think they should just strip the stamina system. I think most people just would prefer not to have the stamina system. I mean, if you play a New Game Plus, the game's a lot more... It's easy to play into, because if you capture stamina out, you can run around before it kind of, deteriorates. Or if you're playing on the PC and you use like Lemon's mods, you can take out the stamina system altogether.
Yeah, you can, which is...
Some combat mechanics got scrapped, I believe. George and Joe Kitchen confirmed that.
I'd have to think. I'm sure they mentioned something around it a while back. It wasn't when they interviewed with me. But I know that they had quite a broad system. I know they said that they had the test going with the black suits in my interview, and I think they said there might have been some mechanics there that weren't in the final game, but I don't know what they were. I think that's going back into my memory anyway. That's what they said. I really should remember this stuff better.
Yeah, well, same. But I mean, see, the thing, Ren, is when you think about the stamina system, you've got to think, like, why did Yu Suzuki want to implement it? Did he want to... Because I know fans were, like, crying out for, like, there should be a food system in the game of some sorts. It's hard to judge, when you're buying sodas from the vending machines.
Here's a question, though.
Yeah.
Like, with the stamina system.
I suppose you do see Rio drinking in the first two games.
How hard would it have been for them to put the stamina system to put in? It couldn't have been that difficult from a coding perspective. I mean, I'm not a coder, I don't know. So if somebody has more knowledge of that than me...
I don't really know about the Unreal 4 engine, but is that something that is already built into the system?
I don't know, I mean...
Yeah, he did. He's got that quote where he's like, if you walk, you see more. Obviously, he said it a bit more poetically. But they've built the game, they want you to, like, experience it and enjoy your surroundings and all the details that they put into the game. So he didn't want you to just run everywhere, but then at the same time, I don't think he wanted you to constantly be bogged down with worrying about eating food and stuff like that. I don't know.
I just think it probably needed polish on it as to what it could have been. I think you see some of the more advanced...
Once you've trained your endurance up, it's not as much of an issue. It's only at the start of the game where he's got like 5 bars of HP or whatever you want to call it, or energy, and it's always low. I think once you've trained it up and you've got it capped, like Matt's got it capped here, and he's running around, and it's not really posing an issue unless you've got the mod on. Have you got the mod on here?
No, I haven't. I'm running this on Steam.
So it's not really. See, if you look at Matt's energy, he's just been running up that path there, and he's still got nearly a full bar of energy. So once you've trained it, it's not really an issue. It's just that first initial experience.
I think it's not far off. I mean, I'd have liked the stamina system to be tied to your power for your moves, for example. So if you're tired, your moves don't carry the oomph that they would do if you're fully fed. Something like that, I think, would have worked quite nicely. But if they get rid of...
I was saying earlier about if you suddenly trigger a fight and you've got half health, you start with half health, and that's just because you've just been running, which seems a bit unfair. Or you've not eaten.
So it could literally be
that concerns your money aspect as well.
So I think what it should be really, or what could have been in my mind, it could have been literally a stamina bar, which has then coded to impact your move input. So if you've got half stamina, your moves are going to be less powerful, so you have to fight longer. But then you have to consider that because it's going to then knacker you out with the fight. So that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe we should leave stamina.
It is a shame that it kind of causes you to, it forces you to walk until you eat. And then, like I say, if you go into battle, you've got to eat. Otherwise, you're starting the fight with like no health. Oh, apparently Renner says you can buy the stamina system on Unreal Market.
So it's not surprising. I mean, there's a lot of Unreal assets in here that they would have bought because it's cheaper than doing it yourself and less time consuming. But that's the beauty of this engine at the end of the day. Do a bit of fishing because we haven't done any fishing.
That's true. The fishing system was probably bought from the Unreal Engine marketplace as well.
I mean, it's quite a good little engine. I quite like it.
Yeah, I quite like the fishing. It feels very Sega Bass fishing, doesn't it? Which is good.
I think Spags, you got it there. Actually, they should do what they want to do with it. I mean, the Virtua Fighter engine is great, don't get me wrong, but actually that suffers from issues as well.
What I don't like is, say for like a long input combo, Rio kind of just stands there before he does it. So say if you've got a 4-button press, there's like that time period of entering that combo before he actually does the move. So it does feel like there's a delay occasionally, even though there isn't.
Yeah, I mean, Sifu, I think that's going to be interesting how they've implemented that combat engine, because that looks really bloody good. It was really cool.
Oh, right, okay. So there is some input delay.
I don't know if the mod worked that well. I'm aware of it, but I don't know how well it worked.
Shenson wanted a link to the stamina system.
Yeah.
As purchasable.
Yeah, I think you're right, Spags. I think it did break.
Oh,
and the fishing asset, yeah. All the stamina system. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That was it.
Like, I don't disagree that they could have just paid for something that was already created, like a stamina asset, a stamina system or a fishing asset. I agree, James. Don't like the input lag. Yeah, I mean that's the only thing. It's not so much input lag. It's just waiting for you to input the command. So even if you just press A, there's a little bit of a delay because it's just making sure that you haven't pressed A. Do you know what I mean? It's whereas the Virtua Fighter system, it knows if you've just pressed A, it kicks. Whereas this system, it's like you press A to kick, but it's making sure that you haven't.
The VF system's much more based on your directional inputs before you do your moves. So you do like up, down, X, for example, on PlayStation, and it'll do a certain move. Whereas this one's a lot more based on your face button combo, so it's slightly different in that respect.
Yeah, the other thing we've got is we're just so used to the Virtua Fighter engine that you expect it, don't you, going in when it's a different engine. You know, if it was flipped, I don't know.
Well, when Sega makes Shenmue 4 with Yu Suzuki at the helm at $100 million, you know,
okay,
then we'll get the Virtua Fighter system and everyone...
I'm with the stream. Has anyone checked the Euro Millions, by the way, tonight?
No, I haven't. In fairness, I haven't got an email, so presumably I haven't won anything.
Yeah, I don't think I'm on anything either.
110 million quid. I'd be funding Shenmue 4 tomorrow. Waltz into Wisenet, slam the check on the ground, on the floor, on the table. Be like, make the game.
Go buy your throws. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It is a weird one. Going into Shenmue 4, are they going to stick with everything they've got, you think?
I think they've got to.
They've kind of got to, yeah. So you think they're just going to stick with this engine now until the end of the series fighting system?
You can't
add more to it, like the throw system.
In my opinion, you can't mess around too much. Hey, Pete Wilson, good to see you.
Wilson.
I don't think you can sort
of... I've been doing that. Everywhere I go now, I do with the peace sign. I've started doing it at work. Someone says thanks, I go... Which is a nice thing, I suppose, peace.
Well, it's better than doing the middle finger.
That's true.
Fuck off.
But yeah. Hi, Peter.
I think, personally, regardless of budget, they should use the engine that they've got as a core and just improve on it and put the money into the story and the other bits. I think
it does make the most sense.
They'd be mad, in my opinion, to do anything else. I don't see the benefit of it, really, to do anything else.
Who was it that said that Yu Suzuki is more likely to want to try and do something?
It was
new
Ezra when I interviewed him.
Yeah.
But I think, with respect to the man himself, I think someone needs to rein that in a bit.
You should realise, like, at least... especially now, rather, that the budget is an issue.
Renner's character stats, health kit, and attribute system is only 1776 and comes pre-coded, but might need some adjustment. Okay, so it's not exactly expensive, is it?
But yeah, it's that one digital backer.
Yeah.
Character stats, health kit.
But then this is why Unreal's popular. This is why it's a good engine, because you can do all of this and you can make a game for not very much.
It's true.
It does retro. It needs more in-depth cutscenes, which are costly to do. But when you have more money to go towards it and more time to go towards it, you're away, aren't you?
What is the cost then? If you can buy stuff like that, so for the cutscenes, what is the actual cost there? Is it the motion capture?
It'd be, if they use motion capture, it'll be that. It will also be the timing to code it, because if you motion capture something, you've then got to implement it, you've then got to code it and rig it, and that takes time and money. And if you've got lots of cutscenes, it's more time, it's more money.
See, the voice acting kind of doesn't seem to be a problem, because I know they were under a lot of pressure, but like Bill Black and the English dubbing and that sort of stuff, they had like 4 months, was it? Or maybe 2 months?
He had 4 months to do it. He would have liked 6.
Months, okay. Yeah, okay. And that is a lot of dialogue at the end of the day. If they wanted to do more with the cutscenes and the actual story, they could strip away some of the side sort of... You know what I mean? Shenmue 3 it kind of sticks to that sort of system from the first two games where you go up to random NPCs at different points in the story and they say different things at different times. They could get rid of a little bit of that if the voice acting was a costly thing.
I mean, I know they did the voice acting, certainly on the English dub. It was done on a tight budget, and they maximised the money that they had. Oh, hello, Retro Critic is raiding us. Welcome and hello, Retro Raid. How's it going? You've just walked in at a good time because now I'm going to have to enter you all in the competition to win a Shenmue 3 Steelbook.
Steelbook. Everyone in the chat that speaks at least is in.
Seabass 2000, thanks for the follow.
Steelbook. That's awesome, man. Thanks for the raid.
Right, I'm going to have to get you guys in, so let me just cancel off the fishing for a second. Yeah.
Spag says, it's hard to say one because I feel Shenmue 3 is full of little things because they didn't have the staff or resources to build more big stuff, if you get what I mean. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Retro is our Shenmue expert.
Looks like you got one.
I mean, early on we were speculating that they only had like 10 people in the staff, and then that grew to like 30 people.
I mean, WiseNet it changed from having literally like the man himself and then some other people,
single figures, to like
to then a team of 30 to 40 that they've got now, and they're still, like we said earlier, they're still working. Retro Critic, these guys know a lot more than me about it. Well, it doesn't matter who knows what. We're just glad to see you guys in, and thanks for the raid.
Awesome, man. And you know what? We're celebrating the 2nd anniversary of Shenmue 3. So, I mean, if you're not familiar with this game, we're playing Shenmue 3. It's the game that was brought back from the dead, like 15 years on from Shenmue 2. We'd all been waiting 15 years, you know, diehard fans. And it was the E3 of 2015 that brought Shenmue 3 back after all those years. So if you're not familiar with the series, that's what we're playing now. We're playing the game that has been revived basically by the fans after all that time. And yeah, it's been out for 2 years, which is insane. Shenson.
Retro Critic, always try to support Shenmue streamers where I can. Thank you, it's appreciated. Bad Wolf is Shenmue 4 confirmed? No, it's not confirmed. What I do know is they were pitching it early this year. I don't know what the outcome of that is. I know for a fact, because I spoke to Cedric Biscay last year, that it was in video form and they had some playable areas. And WiseNet's working on something. We don't know what it is, but they are working on something. So that could well have moved on since then, for all we know. But that is the only sort of public information I'm aware of and know about.
Who's ordered their Shenmue aftershave?
Oh yeah,
that's what I was laughing at.
Damn right I have. I'm going to smell like old arcades.
In the chat that hasn't seen it yet, I've got the link here. So, for some random reason, Sega official shop UK or Europe or whatever has decided to release a line of cologne. So we've got a Sonic one, a Yakuza one, and a Shenmue one. And for some reason, the Shenmue one smells of tobacco. So I'm interested to see or to smell what this smell actually smells like. It's a lot of smells. Just literally just randomly dropped on us yesterday. But we're always down for some more Shenmue merchandise, of course.
Yeah, more merch the better.
Like I say, man, if we do a Shenmue meetup, the whole room is just going to smell as cologne.
It's a prerequisite. If you haven't got that cologne on, you're not coming in.
Instead of like a COVID vaccination passport or whatever, we're just sniffing your neck. If you don't smell like Shenmue, you're not coming in.
Well, hello there.
Riku Rinku, thank you for hosting. And welcome.
I've been a non-smoker for 3 years. It's funny to think, like, if the Sega Shop era, like, encouraging people to get back to the bad habits. People have been like, they've had fucking nicotine patches on, and they're going to spray this Shenmue cologne and go back to chain smoking.
Excuse me, Grandmaster Fong.
The cologne, if anyone doesn't know, it's got fragrances of cardamom, bergamot, golden tobacco, orris, sage, and patchouli.
It's weird, isn't it?
So it's very strange, mate. But I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it'll be all right. Riku, I love the Shenmue series. Yeah, fantastic series. Love it.
It's going to smell like it came from Paladin.
Better not for 30 quid.
I know, man. It makes you wonder, like, is the numbskull employees just in a lab just experimenting with different smells? They're like smoking cigarettes, like leaving it inside a jug of water for like a week, sniffing it, adding a bit of gravy.
Grandmaster. Damn. What do I do now?
There was a point actually when I was reading the email whether they might have got confused with the Yakuza and the Shenmue smells, because the Yakuza one actually smells a bit more Shenmue-y.
It does, doesn't it?
In my opinion.
Cheers, Jedi Knight, for popping in.
Let me read the Yakuza one.
Loretta, welcome.
Loretta, okay, that's my wife.
Is that it? Oh, your wife, is it? Ah.
Okay.
You're getting trolled by your wife.
Well, she asked me, I was reading the ad to her and she's like, have you bought it? And I said, I've bought 2. And she started laughing. But the Yakuza one is antique oak. So I was thinking, okay, antique oak, that kind of sounds Shenmue because of the antique shop. Cedarwood, okay, that kind of sounds Shenmue because of Guilin and all the trees and stuff. Smoky bourbon, okay, that kind of sounds Shenmue because of the
bar fight, yeah.
It's the Yokosuka bar where you walk in and they have a bet and say like, if you win, buy me a bourbon or whatever. Leathery rose, so I was thinking, okay, that kind of sounds Shenmue because of the leather jacket, and that ends up being the Yakuza one, and we get the tobacco one.
It's weird, isn't it? I don't know.
It's weird.
It might be brilliant. I don't know.
It might be. Yeah, it might smell like you smell it and you think like,
so
fuck me, that
bloody
smells exactly like I was thinking Rio was going to smell like. Yeah.
Sweaty old arcade machines.
Yeah. Or sailors, like a lot of people have been saying it smells like.
I didn't buy a Yakuza one. Money sort of dictates that a little bit. Hey Sam, how's it going?
Oh, that's cool. Jedi Knight says thank you guys for making my Friday night awesome. Have a great night.
Just need to make sure it sells out so we can keep this merchandise coming. We do. I mean, they wouldn't keep doing Shenmue merch if people didn't keep buying it. So, it speaks for itself. And I know that a lot of people have been picking it up.
I'd like you to teach me a technique.
Yes, Peter K. I've bought 2. I've bought 1 to try and use, and maybe get like an empty bottle of, maybe like them wash it out or something, and just have like an empty bottle on display, and 1 to keep sealed. I mean, I'm hoping it comes in like some sort of like a Shenmue branded packaging as well, which would be cool.
I imagine
like if you buy, this is the first thing I think I've bought, like a Britney Spears perfume I've bought back in the past for my wife, and it's come in like a sealed box So it would be nice to, like, if it does come in a sealed box, to unseal one and get it out on display and then use it. And that's the empty bottle that looks like the picture that we've got there. Maybe there's one in like a brown box, I'm thinking, that's sealed with wrapping.
Get Shenmue underwear next, Christ. I mean, son, you are right. I think when the anime drops, there's going to be merch everywhere because they're going to want to flog everything to us.
Yeah. They do seem to be whacking the logo in like tiger thing on everything, don't they?
I mean, it's smart though, isn't it? Because they keep selling it. And this is what we keep saying is, I know it's a bit of a cash grab in some respects, and I get it. They're a business, they need to make money. But the thing is, they keep selling this stuff. It means Shenmue's viable.
Well, did you buy 1 or 2 for yourself, Matt?
I've got 1 at the moment.
Okay.
But if I have any more money, then I will get a second one.
Okay, so what I was about to say was, between 2 people, we've got like 8 on order, because we're sending a couple to different people.
Yeah.
So 2 people there have ordered 8, essentially. So going off that ratio, bloody hell, we're self-funding Shenmue 4, aren't we, as we speak?
Where am I going?
They should make it smell like garlic.
They smell like garlic. How much are they? They're £30 a bottle.
Yeah. Yeah, my wife says picking merch up in Tesco.
Wait.
Could literally be a thing, couldn't it? You just walk into a Superdrug, they've got like stacks of Shenmue cologne. And you're just seeing like random people just picking it up and buying it. They don't even know what Shenmue is.
Just buying the shit. I mean, Abdullah's got it actually. In fact, it's a valid point that, you know, it is a well-known IP, whether you've played the games or not. I mean, they've done it a lot. You say they've done it alongside Sonic and Yakuza. I mean, Sonic and Yakuza are probably the biggest 2 franchises Sega have at the moment. That are active.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, to be third, obviously you're never going to compete Sega-wise with Sonic and Yakuza because that's the main line titles that they're pushing. But to be third in that lineup of 3 things that they choose to make a fragrance of is pretty good going, to be honest. Considering if you think about some of the other stuff that they're pushing at the moment, like they could have done a banana smell for Super Monkey Ball.
They've done Shenmue.
Yeah, exactly.
As it's Sunset.
I'm seeing the Shenmue board game.
Funnily enough, the guys that did the Resident Evil board game on Kickstarter, which I think got funded, I think it was BCDC left a comment in the YouTube in the Kickstarter comments saying, "What about a Shenmue one?" And they said interesting. So you never know.
Okay.
I mean, it's not.
That's interesting.
It's obviously not guaranteed, but I'd buy it. It'd be interesting to see how they did it. Ah, shit.
Peter Wilson says it's a bit tight for medium. He's been eating non-stop since COVID. I think we all have, haven't we? I was thinking the other day, and I just looking at this photo as well. This is like 2.5 years ago. Look how much better I looked there 2.5 years ago.
I'm in better shape there as well.
That's insane, isn't it?
Kind
of like, I don't know where these have come from, but I've developed these like nose lines. Anyone else know what these are? Like, am I just getting fat in the cheeks, or what's going on there?
I think it's probably getting old as well.
I can't see them on this 2.5 year photo. That is the last day that I was youthful.
I had hair there.
True. That's the last day you were youthful.
Goro merch would sell. Bloody hell. I think Spags, you're right actually. If they approach Sega, I reckon they'd do it. Sega seem quite open to this sort of stuff, especially if there's minimal risk to them. I think they'd do it.
To be fair, Shen's on Spud. He does look really good, bald. I think he's probably like the only one that can pull that bald hairstyle off. It's part of the reason why my camera's a little bit put here. Just 'cause I am receding a little bit. I'm not too bad at the moment, but I think we'll keep the camera about there.
I just got to the point where I was losing it. I sort of, fuck it goes now.
Yeah. No, you've done the right thing.
Dope
Max
Space
speed, pull it
9,
off.
hello. They're called Noseable Folds, okay?
What?
I don't know if that's true or not, but it sounds quite funny. Quite like that.
That sounds very scientific. How did you say that?
Naseable Folds.
Nasal bite, nasal.
Hey Masood, how's it going? I'll get you entered into the compo in a minute when I've finished whacking moles.
Yeah, I suppose. Although, why should it age me having a kid? Why should that age me?
Lack of sleep.
I suppose I'm like not caring about myself as much as I am a child.
You don't have the time to.
Yeah, all my care is going into this new person.
Although having a bloody dog probably did that to me.
Fucking hell, mate. Try having 3.
Yeah.
Or having 4. Having 5. I've had 5 dogs, you know.
Bloody hell.
I had a Westie that we kind of like palmed off of my mum and dad. And then we had a Chihuahua cross Pomeranian that I kind of palmed off of my mum and dad. And then I've got 3 Shih Tzus, so... she's coming up to 2 years old, Peter, just
bloody hell,
pretty much
2?
this time next month. Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it? 29th of December. So, yeah, about a month and a week away from being 2 years old. And it's really cool, actually. She's... I don't know, like the last 6 months, she's just become a person at the same time. She's gone from that baby stage where she was like not saying much at all to like she's like saying sentences and stuff now. It's crazy how it comes on.
It's when they start walking and crawling, you've had it.
Oh, she's running.
Oh,
She's
that's
not just
it.
Walking.
You're buggered now.
She's almost jumping.
Oh no.
Oh, she is jumping, yeah. She's climbing. She's been climbing for like a year. We took her to this place called Inflato, and they got like inflatable ladders, and honestly she climbed about 20 foot in the air on her own.
They've got no sense of fear, have they, though?
No, it's really cool. It is really cool. Shanton says, how do you do all the Shenmue work and have a kid is beyond me, Jim. You're definitely the Terminator.
Ah, shit. Shenmue 4 is announced. How long do you reckon to launch? 2024.
Yeah, you're thinking, what, 3 years, 4 years? Max?
Yeah, bollocks. Not very good at this.
Yeah, I think it is based on the anime.
I think a lot.
The anime's definitely going to tide us over at least. Wait, when they are in year 6, you have to pick high schools.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, we've got a long way to go. We're planning on moving to Japan at some point. Before all that, hopefully.
I've saved this, I think.
Spags has it pretty much nailed on there. 2024, he's saying.
Yeah.
If someone picks up the pitch. It depends who they pitched it to, doesn't it? And if... What was the response like when they were showing it?
We don't know. I mean, there needs to be a realistic earner in it for people. I think, like, they have to have a grasp of the earning potential of Shenmue 4 and not go mental in terms of what they ask for, which is why I keep pressing that I think they should manage the budget in terms of use the engine, use what they got, improve it, and just nail the story. So then they don't need to go mental on everything else.
Yeah.
Let me guess.
Well, yeah.
I mean, that's another thing. I was saying this in regards to the anime team, but it also is a factor for why, isn't it? Like, after the release Shenmue 3, I know we assume that they've carried on working there, they've got an office, they've got a team still, but if people start leaving that team, that's an issue. It's like when they finish season 1 of the anime, you kind of want them to carry on working into season 2 of the anime, because once people start going for different things, like say, I don't know how the anime industry works, but say if suddenly half that team moves on to another project, how easy is it to get them back for season 2?
That's the thing, isn't it? And you don't want to... I think Cedric even said it, he wants to keep the team together as much as possible, which means they have to sort of pull the trigger early.
Was he saying that for the game or the anime?
For the game, when I spoke to him.
Yeah.
So I'd imagine the same would apply for the anime.
Yeah.
But I think we're right, actually. The anime is going to keep us going through 2022. Bearing in mind, we don't know the release date yet. It could be any time, although I suspect it will be within the first sort of 4 to 5 months of the year if I'm putting my money where my mouth is, which would be great.
I suppose the good thing is, since Shenmue 2 to Shenmue 3, we've probably had like a jacket from Insert Coin or a figure from First Figures, whereas at least at the moment we've consistently been drip fed merchandise and, you know, the animes to come. So it's not like we're kind of back in that sort of zone where we're waiting, just waiting and waiting and waiting. There's things that are still happening. You know, we're actually waiting for vinyl records, another collector's edition of Shenmue 3. We're waiting for a cologne. So the things that we're waiting for are, you know, not even a game. We're waiting for merchandise, which is pretty unusual, I suppose, for a Shenmue fan. I just think we're keeping the series ticking along nicely as well ourselves, and some of the stuff that we're doing, like your interview series, Matt, and, you know, some of the magazine sort of work that I'm doing. And there's other outlets as well that are keeping the Shenmue name out there in the public all the time. Shenmue Fred, the Shenmue Master. There's just loads of different community outlets that are making sure that this time around, the Shenmue name isn't forgotten.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we need to keep doing.
And Sega Shop, they're taking advantage of that still. You know, I think every time you see a new product going on sale, I think that is a good sign. It's got to be better than not seeing it, at least.
Hey Sean, how's it going, bud? Good to see you.
Not that Sega's likely to get involved in a future game, but it is nice to see that they are selling merchandise still.
It all counts. It all counts. Is PlayStation going to be keen again? Possibly. I mean, we don't know. Publishers can come in on things.
Question from Samian. Do you think the work on the Dragon and Phoenix collection could potentially aid WiseNet in implementing features absent from Shenmue 3?
I mean, I don't see why it couldn't. It's whether they're willing to use those systems. I mean, they are aware of the DMP project, because Cedric has seen it.
Yeah.
Because I put it in front of him, and people have seen it at WiseNet. So absolutely, it could be. I'd be interested to see what that looked like. Someone, yeah, exactly, said someone is funding that place. They can't just sit on their asses doing nothing. And actually, I mean, I'm not. This is just me spitballing. I don't think it's the actual case, but we know that RGG Studio are working on new games outside of Yakuza. So one of them is a new IP, but who knows? One of them could be Shenmue for all we know. I doubt it. I'm just, you know, it's just an interesting talking point more than anything else.
Yeah. Be interesting, wouldn't it? I think we were speculating they've got to be working on a Virtua Fighter 6.
I think that's nailed on. Absolutely
That's
nailed
nailed on. But that would be cool if they were to work with Yu Suzuki and whatnot, and perhaps they could even implement that fighting system into Shenmue 4, Virtua Fighter 6 engine.
They could do. They could easily. Yeah, it could work. We just have to see.
Forklift capsule toy, but can't find it now.
Right, there's my money.
I'm just gonna nip the toilet, by the way, man. Be 2 minutes.
That's all right. Yeah, exactly, Masood. It was hurried. They ran out of time and probably money, quite frankly.
Back in a sec, guys.
Let's have a look at the other comments there. Why would RGG be working on the next Virtua Fighter, not AMT? Because RGG did the transfer to the Dragon. I know AMT were involved. It might be a joint project, but I think Virtua Fighter 6 is nailed on. I really do. I mean, I think it did 10 million downloads on PlayStation Plus over the 2 months, which is crazy numbers. You're not gonna. Why wouldn't you capitalise on that? Like now, it'd seem really strange not to. Waiting for the full version of Unreal? Yeah, because you can transfer the assets quite easily. From what I've heard, anyway. I'm not an expert on Unreal, but you would think they would make it as easy as possible. And I understand the transfer from 3 to 4 was a lot harder. Oh. Let's buy some other stuff while I'm here. Excellent. Yeah, at the end of the day, money comes into everything. They've got a business to run. Money needs to be made. And there needs to be earning potential in something like Shenmue. I think there is. I really do think there's earning potential in Shenmue if you pitch it the right way. But that's how you go about it. That's a question for the people, the powers that be, is how you market it. But then the anime comes into that. Yeah, if you get a spike of people buying the first 3 games because the anime, then you're in business. I mean, Sega, they've got a checkered record with capitalising on games. I mean, Sonic Mania 2 has been rumoured to be cancelled. I don't know how true that is. But it'd be really disappointing because Sonic Mania, I know it did 1 million copies quite quickly, but you'd imagine it sold more than that over the time frame it's been available, surely. I mean, you're right, so I think if you look at the anime and the reaction to it online, it's all been universally positive. So if it is as good as the trailer suggests, that could well put a rocket on it and send it to the moon. It really could. We just have to wait and see. But I think we'll get more and more like teasers and stuff around the anime early next year, getting that ready. And if the merch sells and the anime is successful, you could get commissioned for a second season as well. Then I think you're really in business. I mean, I also see it as an insurance policy. In that, worst case scenario, assuming the anime does okay, that the anime finishes the story. I want it in game form, don't get me wrong, but I want the story finished. Rennes, I think you're right to a point there, actually, looking at the way Sega were with Shenmue fans early on. If you look around sort of the early 2010s-ish, their attitude towards Shenmue fans on social media was not great. It was poor, in actual fact. But since then, it's improved a lot. I mean, Sega Shop are really big on it. Sega Europe are the reason we got the remastered, or the remakes, right? Well, you know what I mean, the remasters more than anything else. So there is change within Sega. The guys that hold the keys are Japan, and I know in Japan there's mixed feelings around it. So we'll see how we go.
Yeah, well, you've got. I'm back, by the way, but you've got. When we were looking through the timeline of the tweets and stuff, we did get some snarky comments from Sega, didn't we, back in the day?
It wasn't great.
where, as you know, recently it seems to seem that they've kind of accepted Shenmue a little bit more.
Yeah,
in the latter years.
Yeah, I think they have.
That's a bit too hard.
Will people who watch the anime be even told, be made aware it's based on a game? I think that's needs to be part of the marketing, quite frankly.
It's true. I mean, how are they going to introduce the anime to people?
Yeah, it's true. It should be.
Think, like episode 1, they're going to say there might be a black screen with a
based on the game.
That says, this is based on a game or something. Yeah.
Possibly. Cheers, son. Take it easy, bud. I'll catch you soon.
Cheers, son, man. Take it later, mate.
Yeah, they are. I mean, you look at Danny Russell's he's a Shenmue fan. He works inside Sega, and there are people.
Danny's amazing, to be fair.
There are people in Sega who are very much supportive of the franchise. So we're in a far better position than we were in that respect.
I'd say Danny Russell is probably the best person to be working at Sega, because if you follow some of the stuff he does on Shenmue, on Sega Forever, that Twitter account, he's actually going out of his way to recover archivable content, discs, artwork. He's the guy that you want to be working for Sega, to be honest, because he actually cares about the company, and
he's a Sega fan, isn't he, Danny? He's a big Sega fan. He loves it. So all these archives.
That would be a cracking interview, by the way, if you could speak to Danny Russell about not even just Shenmue, but just Sega in general. And
sure, he'd probably do it. He might have to vet the questions before, but I reckon he'd do it. I reckon he'd do it all day.
He's a really nice guy.
Yeah, Danny's sound. I mean, he's arranged for us to have get codes for Judge. He didn't do Judgment, actually. Super Monkey Ball and Virtua Fighter, for example. He gave us codes for that to stream, which is great. Even David, I can't remember his last name, David Hines over at Sega, gave us a code for Lost Judgment. Well. He's a real cool bloke as well. So
if you were wondering why,
and we've worked with Ebes a lot as well.
Shenmue Dojo is streaming bloody Super Monkey Ball and whatnot.
That's
it's just because of these people involved in Sega now, and we do really respect them. Some of the work that they're actually doing. And at the end of the day, you want to present Sega in a good light. You want to help Sega wherever we can.
Yeah, and that's what it comes down to, because at the end of the day, we all love Sega. We all love the games they put out. Oh, hey Yanni, I've just seen you pop in. Hey Zizi for the follow as well. I just see that popped up there. Just adding some more people into the competition. We've been going nearly 3 hours now, actually.
I know what you're saying, Renners. He says the only way Sega can earn fans' respect for me is to fund Shenmue 4, since they're making money off Shenmue fans still buy merch. Sega should have given WiseNet the old data and Shenmue they had.
I don't know why they didn't. I mean, that's a conversation that was obviously had at a much higher level than us, so I'd be very interested to see why that was the case. But who knows? Who knows? Right, we're going to go back to Shenhua's house, and I'm going to I'm going to do the draw and bring us to close at about 3 hours.
Okay, dude, no problem.
Hey, Annie, you've popped in just as we're finishing, but good to see you in.
As if you to call us beautiful.
Thanks. Everything okay, Leo?
Yeah, why do you ask?
I realize this must be a big change of pace for you, so I wanted to make sure you're holding up okay.
Other than a few cuts and bruises, I'm fine.
Okay.
Yeah, Sega did. They went from mental to conservative. I think now they've got a balance. I mean, they do milk some of their more well-known franchises, but I think they are sort of branching themselves out a bit more now, which is good. I mean, they're letting people do things with their IPs that they wouldn't. Next stream will probably be the 4th of December.
It is. The only way to get to Longway Shenport is on foot.
And then we're probably going to do like a Christmas stream sometime around Christmas. Perhaps not Christmas Day.
but probably like the weekend before or something around there, depending on how people's work, Christmas parties, etc. work out.
Yeah, but to be fair to Sega, I mean, you know, that's the only reason why things like Shenmue World can exist, because of how fair and, you know, how grateful they are for fan communities to be getting involved in some of the IP like that, and you know, in that kind of way. They see it as like marketing rather than someone making a profit out of a franchise that they own.
They were Sega, unlike Nintendo, who shut everything down. Sega are pretty good about it.
Pretty good. I mean, at the end of the day, like Shenmue World, Peter, I mean, I did speak to a few people involved at Sega. I don't want to name names or anything, but they enjoyed Shenmue World for what it was. You know, the first issue. You know, a couple of people actually picked it up, and they said that they loved Shenmue World, so which is nice to hear. And you know, there's nothing in the issue that kind of broke legalities that I'm aware of. At least I haven't heard any, like, I haven't had any repercussions or anything. And you know, the project wasn't out there to aim to create or generate a profit. You know, everything that we earned was actually put back into the magazine as best as I could. Which it was quite difficult, to be honest. I mean, I originally intended to get, like, I think $6,500 from the project, but that was for like 300 copies of the issue, and because we earned like nearly 700 backers, I ended up having to do like a run of like 1,000 of everything just to make sure that there was no issues, there was no shipping problems. I had enough stock to actually, if anything was to fuck up, especially for issue 1, I made sure that we had enough so that cost obviously 1,000 of whatever, you know, like I say, 700 people. So compared to the original 300, which was, we worked out meticulously that I required like $6,500 to create everything. So in the end, I think we ended up with like 16 grand. But then there was obviously there was like loads of different things you got to think about, which was really, really difficult. You've got the Kickstarter fees, which are 20%, I think, or 25%. You know, something crazy.
It's quite a lot of money.
Instantly we lost like 2 or 3 grand, and then the shipping was like the major factor, which was like I'm pretty sure when you look at the stats on the shipping, that was like 10k just for shipping. And I made sure that I shipped every magazine as tracked, because I wanted to make sure there was no issues there, and if there was, it was covered. I just wanted to make sure that whatever we did, it wasn't going to make anyone out of pocket, basically. And luckily, we pretty much did everything bang on. And which, with the help of Switch did all the pie charts and worked out all the financials and stuff. And I think we pretty much hit it bang on the nail on the head. I had enough money to cover everything, which was good. And you've also got to factor in, like, from the day of the Kickstarter to like the end, and then actually physically going out, I think it took like 2 weeks to get the money, and then to buy the services or the products or whatever, prices could have changed, so there was a little bit of risk involved in there. You're talking like 8 weeks. I don't know what the prices are now, we'll have to check on that, but I have been working on issue 2, of course, so I'll have to double check that. But I would like to keep everything the exact same price, and we're kind of a little bit more.
Don't do that.
I don't want to spoil anything, but we're a bit more ambitious with issue 2 as well. Some of the things that we're doing. So hopefully I can kind of keep it at £15 for everything. I think that was the beauty of it. You know, Shenmue World issue 1. I think a lot of Kickstarters, which I know they need the money to like produce the actual product, but for Shenmue Dojo and myself and everything that we do, we're kind of doing it passionately driven. So I wanted to make the magazine before I earned the money to go off and and buy everything that needed to actually make it into a physical product. Whereas the Kickstarters obviously do it the other way around, where they need the money and then start the project. So I'd actually finished Shenmue World Issue 1, and then it was just a case of like waiting for the money to go into the bank, and then waiting for the product to actually be made, manufactured, all the different things that we did, like the magazine, the bonus things, and then sending prints off to Eric Calso, waiting for them to be signed and returned, and the CDs and all that sort of stuff. So that was where like a month or two was actually spent just waiting. And I think I don't say anything like that is the way to do a Kickstarter, but I think it worked out a lot more. I got a lot more positive feedback by having the product or the project finished before we got the funding to create it, if that makes sense. And again, with issue 2, I'm making the product before we get it printed, if that makes sense.
It's a hell of an undertaking, and it also begs.
And again, my wife there in the chat there, she actually helped me to ship everything as well. So
it's mad, but you think
because there's a lot of other things. Sorry, Matt, I keep interrupting you, mate. But I mean, there's loads of other things involved. You don't realise, like just trying to find somewhere that will make a piece of plastic that is the right size to fit everything in. So you think like it would be easy to get like a plastic bag, but it's not. It's not that easy. So I had to find like a local distributor, and then I was showing him the magazine, the size wise and stuff, and he was measuring it, and he was like, "Oh, we'll have to like custom make the actual bags for that, but they can't be exact. They've got to be like a little bit bigger than that." So I was like, "Well, I kind of wanted everything to be snug fit inside this plastic, but I mean, if that's all you can do, that's fine." So they did that, and then I ordered something, and it was like too thin, so I ended up having to buy a second lot of plastic bags, which I know people are probably screaming at me for like destroying the planet because of all this plastic. But it was just something that I had to do, and then it kind of worked out okay because the first thing was okay to like heat seal. So if you noticed, if anyone did pick up Shenmue World Issue 1, I've heat sealed like the posters, the postcards and everything all in one little bag, and then the magazine and the CD was separate in a separate bag that was a bit thicker. That was kind of like not the ideal scenario, but it actually kind of worked out quite nicely. There was like these, it kind of felt a little bit more professional perhaps, that there was these kind of sealed things going on. But originally I was just trying to find a bag that housed everything, but we ended up having to get 2 bags, so just that extra expense and that sort of stuff. There's a lot of factors that you can't, unless you do it yourself, you can't really imagine.
It's mental, absolutely mental. And then you've got to ship all the buggers as well, which is another hard job. And think about it this way: you lost 25% of your money to the Kickstarter fees. So you can imagine
£10,000 on shipping is insane.
So you can imagine.
So I literally had like $4,000 to work with.
So you can imagine WiseNet shipping all the Shenmue stuff, all the Kickstarter awards.
And you've spoken to Cedric about that stuff. And he was saying about, some of the valuations, or was it Brian Payton or whatever he was saying? Someone was saying that we're interviewing. When you factor all those costs in, like they may have earned 6.5 million.
But they didn't have 6.5 million because I think they had about 4 by the end of it.
Yeah. If not less.
Yeah, it's mental. The amount of money they lose on that is mental. But there we go. Yeah, I can see all the comments in chat. Right, I'm going to pull up the competition. I've been putting everybody's bits and pieces into it. So let me just pull that up so everybody can see it. It's all there. So we're going to draw it. Thanks for dropping in and staying for the Raiders and staying for God knows 3 hours now. So here we go.
Right, good luck everyone. This is for a Shenmue 3 Steelbook. which I'll...
So, love video games. If you're still in the chat, you have won yourself one of these. Drop us a message.
He was a new... I think he was a new viewer.
I may have seen the name before. If you're still in chat, drop us a message, direct message on Twitter, Facebook, wherever you can get us all on the dojo. Oh, you are still in. Brilliant. Grab us on Twitter or Facebook or wherever you can. Give us your shipping details. So I'll get this off to you probably next week. So there we go.
Which is probably the best bet. If you can... If you can drop us a DM right now, I don't know, do you need to be... I think you need to be following. But I don't think we need to be following you.
Yeah. If
you need to contact us. I think it'll come through as like approval.
Yeah, and we should be able to get it. But
so, yeah,
Twitter, Twitch, wherever you can to get, just grab us. We'll get your shipping details. I'll get that off to you next week. We'll see about a cologne giveaway. we never know. But we'll see. We're talking to Sega Shop, so we'll see on that. But all that remains now is obviously I'm going to bring us to a close. 3 odd hours in. 2 years of Shenmue 3. And it's crazy that we got there. We have Shenmue 3 on our PCs, on our PlayStations. It's mad.
Let's hope stuff, guys. I mean, this is all because of what the fans did. We wouldn't have any of this stuff here, this Shenmue 3 stuff. You've got the PS4 version, the PC version, the soundtrack, got the light box from the collector's edition, you got the Pix and Loves collector's edition. It's just insane what the fans have done to bring this back.
And what I'll say on that point of the fans bringing it back, let's get behind the anime. Let's get get Shenmue 4 on Twitter, social media, wherever it may be, on the 4th of every month. Let's keep making that noise. We did it once, we can do it again. And let's
all
get
of its
it.
Products, the Shenmue 4 product.
Yeah, let's get ourselves there. But all that remains to say is thank you to everybody who's been with us for the last 3 hours. It's been a great stream. Take care. We'll be back on the 4th of December for some sort of Shenmue stream. I haven't quite worked out what yet. So it's goodbye from me. Goodbye from James.
Take care, guys. See you soon for like podcasts and streams or whatever in the future. Thanks for joining us, as what Matt said. Appreciate everyone in the chat and everything.
Get your saxophones out. We're going to finish this off, and then I'm going to find a channel to raid while that's going on in the background. So take care, guys. Have a good one, and have a good weekend. Take care. See you soon. Take it easy.
Peace, guys.
泣きたく